Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is C-Certified Brewhead.
And I am Nathan from Nathan Does Beer.
And welcome to episode 237 of Beer Not the Shit, the podcast Adjunct series. Nathaniel, we're in Niagara Falls, big dog.
We are another returning guest. One of our faves.
One of our faves, absolutely. The Brewery of the Year 2024 in Ontario from our list. And this is the third appearance on the pod, I think.
Correct.
In the last, probably since I think they turned 4 was the first time, and now they just turned 7. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Like, look, this is a brewery I've it's maybe about an hour for me, but I've been there arguably more than anything else in the general region. It's one of my favorite places to. I know you still haven't been, eh?
No, I haven't. I never really have the opportunity to get out that way where I'm located, and and especially now with kids, it's not that easy for me to travel a long way. So
yeah, no, I totally get it. We've got to see if we can make it happen eventually, but it's just exceptional. The food is just bonkers, and I finally met Joe last time I went by, which was awesome. I didn't tell you that, Greg. I didn't tell you. And the beers on tap are just bonkers. The staff are always so nice, and one of the coolest things has been consistently the same people since I've been going there, and I think that says a lot about the business and how they're treated and how they're respected and how much they know about the products as well. And they're all just fans of beer, and I think it's fucking awesome, man. Such a huge fan. So let's get this going. We've been stoked for this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me press this one properly. Please welcome Uncle Greg of Counterpart Brewing in the building.
Yeah,
there he is. Big dog.
How's it going?
Good, man. How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, doing good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely, brother. Thank you for jumping back on.
Pleasure is ours.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you last time I went down, missed you because it was on the weekend. It was literally the day after I got back from Australia, and we met Joe. I hadn't met him at all ever. I'd seen him before, but he came up to us. So I guess he knew who we were.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's the case. I'm surprised you haven't crossed paths.
Yeah,
before.
like I don't know why. I think every time I'd seen you, like we get talking or whatever, and he's probably in the kitchen just actually working. Joking, not joking, Gregory. I know, I see you, buddy. But yeah, no, lovely guy, and it was really cool to see. And apparently the weekend went awesome for the anniversary. About 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, I want to say. Yeah, it was awesome. We had a great week leading up to it. The Saturday was like the big release, and it was a record day for us. And we had a lot of beer being sent in a lot of directions, so it's always fun kind of doing that dance, just making sure everyone, everything gets out where it needs to be. But yeah, it was good. It's always a good kind of injection of, fun and energy at a time of year where you need it. Like you're coming out of January, February, it's pretty slow. And it always kind of gets kind of our year going, and then we roll that into spring and, ride that momentum.
Hell yeah, perfect timing, and if you look at it like that. I love it, dude. That's amazing. We're gonna talk about that a lot. Now, this evening, we're doing something a little bold. We're gonna do every single one of the anniversary releases tonight, with the exception of the bottles. We're gonna talk about them, though, because that would be crazy. And we're gonna start with this little gem. This is Folklore, the Czech Amber Lager, Polotomavi, collab with Jackalhop out there in Quebec. Where Jackalhop again?
They're like between Montreal and Quebec City,
somewhere in the middle.
Pleasantville or Pleasantville, something like that. They're kind of like a farm brewery.
No shit.
I've never actually been. We're hoping to get out there for a club this summer.
Amazing. And Max came down, right?
Yeah, Max and Mark both came down. We did something a bit different this time. Like generally when you're doing collaborations, you plan all the beer in advance. Like nothing's actually, all the collaborating's always done remotely via email or on the phone in advance because you need to get in your raw materials and so forth.
Of course.
And then you generally host the brewery on brew day, and then you hang out and just kind of drink while someone brews a beer.
John's doing all the hard work.
Yeah. But this year, just because we did all Quebec breweries, which we'll chat about, and they're all coming from a distance, rather than having them all come individually, I just invited them all to come down for the same day so they could, carpool or share Airbnbs and such. Awesome. And we did it on a Friday, so we weren't actually brewing that day. So we could just kind of hang out and host them and spend the whole day drinking and eating on the Counterpart side, and then ended at Counterpie. Did a bunch of pizzas, and it was wicked. Like great group of dudes, and it was a fun time to do it that way.
That's a smart way to do it, dude. I like that a lot.
I think so.
Yeah,
it's cool to see Jackalhop on the list here, because they've been making some quiet noise on the Quebec side, but I don't think they've had much exposure on the Ontario side, if any, before this. I don't know if I've seen them collab with anyone else on the Ontario side, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, they stopped by the brewery probably, I don't know, maybe a year ago or so, and I honestly hadn't heard of them at the time, and they brought us a bunch of beers, and they were all great. We've chatted kind of back and forth since. But yeah, they kind of do everything. They do everything really well. So yeah, it was pretty exciting to work with them. We had never brewed anything with them before, so it's cool to meet them in person. And really happy that the beer came out too.
Absolutely. Nice. Well, first and foremost, gentlemen, cheers. Get that
Cheers.
in. Great to see you.
Cheers. Likewise.
Oh, nose is amazing. Absolutely delightful.
Mm-hmm.
Great malty, little smoky almost in the malt there.
Yeah, there's no smoked malt, but I could see that. Like it's got almost that nuance of it's not really there, but it kind of like you kind of get the perception that it's there.
And it's 4.5%, like we were saying. It's a Czech Amber plus Mavi, 10 degree. Anything? Was it decocted or step mash or anything?
We do like a kind of bastardized version of decoction. Like our we don't have a heated mash tun, so we can't like really do it, but we had piping done in such a manner that we could transfer beer over to our kettle and kind of do our version of a decoction and then transfer it back into our mash. So it's kind of the best we can do with our system, but generally speaking, we've had good results with that, employing it that way. And first time we've brewed this style specifically, but the guys at Jackalhop had just brewed a Czech Amber, so they sent us some of their cans. We were able to try that and chat with them a little bit what their approach was to it.
Sick.
Brought in some other stuff from Godspeed, some stuff from the US I picked up. So we tried a good sample of kind of the style and then kind of did our own approach to it.
Nice. And you're right. I couldn't think. I feel like you guys don't do a ton of Czech stuff unless pure is not Czech, is it?
Not really. It's it's more like an American kind of pilsner. We've done we did like a Czech pale lager back in the day, but no, we haven't done a lot of Czech stuff. So yeah, we did a Czech lager yeast from Escarpment, some good European malt, and away you go.
Love it. Yeah, man, this is fantastic. It's nice to see you guys do the Czech stuff. I know all three of us are big fans of that. Is there any reason why you haven't done many Czech stuff, or is it just kind of hasn't come up, one of those things?
Yeah, I don't know. No reason we particularly avoided it. We generally like we've got maybe 8 or so lagers in our repertoire that we've done a couple times. So we're always fighting to try to squeeze them in and then try to insert the odd new one. And usually a lot of the new ones end up being collabs. So it's just one of those things we haven't got around to for whatever reason, but we've done similar beers. Like we've done, some fest beer, like some malty kind of fest beers. Yes. We've done, like a Vienna lager. We've done like lots of like malty darker lagers, but just hadn't done a Czech Amber specifically.
I love Winds. I know Nate and I.
Winds of Change,
Winds of Change is so sick, and I love that. True to the name, you guys change it every year and make something just slightly different. Yeah, like you said, fest beer, Mazen, Vienna, whatever it is. Like it's
Dunkel,
all that. I think it's fantastic. So cool. It's so dope. I look forward to it every fall. It's obviously that's the best time of year for beer, period. But it's sick that you guys do it, and I guess that allows you to experiment within that sort of permanent seasonal. I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. Which is banger. This is great. I feel like it's always interesting. The first beer of the night hit. It felt so bitter off the rip. Now it's just totally smoothed out. I love it. Such a great body. And I know this is like because I met John when we did the collab for which also we should talk about tonight. The Money Talks for our anniversary last year.
Yeah.
And John was saying, this is John, who's your head brewer, does all the brewing. He's this is his jam, which is even funnier. That he said he doesn't really like or drink haze or stouts or barley wines, and then those are some of the best in the province, if not the country. But he loves lagers. I think that's hilarious that a lager guy has such brewing chops across the board. That
Yeah, for sure. It's been an interesting relationship just in terms of how that needs to work, because it's, he relies on my guidance to brew the beer in terms of like what we're going for, and then in terms of like feedback, because he like, we've done enough in that he definitely knows what we're after. But it's harder to assess something when you don't really enjoy it, when it's not really your style. Like, it's a lot easier if it's harder to try to guess what a person who likes it might want in that, versus like just being able to experience it and adjust it based on your preferences. But we made it work through the years. Like, he's very open to to feedback, and we still, like, despite them not being, a lot of the styles that we brew not being his favorite styles to personally consume, we still try a lot of them together, and assess our beers together. And so it's not necessarily the most ideal scenario in that sense, but we've made it work without issues. And
that's impressive.
But when it comes to lager time, that's definitely when he perks up and gets more excited to get into that.
Hey, man, I respect it, though. I respect being able to just, like, nonchalantly be like, whatever, I don't even care about these styles, and then just whip out some of the best shit possible. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, and he cares a lot. He cares deeply.
I guess I would mean
and he cares what other people think of them. But yeah, he's you're not gonna ever catch him at home drinking a triple IPA or so. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't mean it that way, that he wouldn't actually care about the end product, but just not being a fan of the style, I think, is even. But I guess that's kind of par for the course. So as brewers, you do have to brew styles that perhaps you're not into. It's kind of, if you're not, like, in charge of what's happening, like if you're an employee brewer as opposed to an owner brewer. Yeah, perhaps. I think most brewers that you talk to, they're primarily gonna drink lager.
Yeah, that's true.
But most of them have more of a background with enjoying hazy IPAs and such as well. But
kind of also, you kind of got to know what's going on. I guess that's what all the kids are drinking these days, so you got to be up on it.
Yeah. We only brew things that, like, collectively as a team, we're into, but that doesn't necessarily mean everyone on our team is excited about that particular style. But trying to brew something where no one on that side of things is excited about it, like, that seems like a foolish thing to put your time into.
Totally, man. I totally get it. Well, this is a banger. I love it. There's so many different things that we want to touch on tonight, but maybe since we're already sort of talking about it, last year for your anniversary, and this is a theme, and I don't know how long you've been doing it, so that's kind of part of the question. So last year for your anniversary, for the 6th, you collaborated with all Western New York breweries. So, like, Frequentum. Who else did you work with?
Mortalis, Fifth Frame, Froth.
Yes. Also, rest in peace. Fucking hell, that's terrible.
I think they're still brewing. They just don't have
They just closed the tap room
anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we did Eskerhard in New Jersey as well. So that was the only non-Western New York brewer, I guess.
Gotcha. Perfect. And then this year was all Quebec.
Yeah.
So you got. I mean, I guess we can talk about them all as we go. I guess you can mention them now. It doesn't matter. We're going to be drinking all the beers from them. So we had Jackalhop, Brewski, Ketch, Sir John.
No Brewski. We did
no Brewski.
Yeah, Ketch. We've done with Brewski in the past, but this was
Nano.
Jackalhop, Nano Cinco, Ketch, Sir John, Brasserie du Bas-Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Where did the idea come? Was there, like, in 2024? I don't recall that being the pattern, or was it? As in,
I don't believe. I think last year is the first year that we had more of, like, a theme to it.
Okay,
and that was a little bit more strategic going into it. That, like, it'd be cool to do all New York State brewers this year, versus this year, it kind of happened more accidentally. Like, by the time I chatted with we chatted with Sir John about going down to brewing with them, and talked about the idea of them coming down to brew beer with us as well. So we kind of had already started that conversation. And then I can't remember. I think I spoke to, like, Guillaume at Ketch, and we had, like, a few of them lined up. And then we planned to do 5 collabs. We already had 3 of them lined up with Quebec brewers. So we're like, all right, let's just roll with that theme and kind of keep that going. Right. And yeah, I think it works well from a marketing perspective and just from like a, it's an easy thing to kind of promote when you have, a bit of a theme there. So, and it's just kind of fun too, because these guys all know each other really well.
Yeah.
So in a lot of like the other thing we always do for anniversaries, we'll brew a beer with usually 5-ish individual breweries, but then we'll do our zombie party, which is like our smoothie sours, which we'll partner up ourselves with 2 of the breweries that we're already brewing another collab with. So in this case, like when everyone already knows each other really well, that's easier and fun as well, because these guys have all worked together before. And they've often tried things together that we can then employ in our beer. There's not always a huge amount of thought or strategy that goes into it, but these themes I tend to like, so it's probably something we'll keep kind of rolling with.
Nice. That was going to be my question. Like, would you keep that for 2027 for the 8th anniversary? But I know you like would. Yeah, you can't even say it. I was going to say, have you got any ideas? Maybe without answering it, do you have any ideas of like, have you thought about different places to go next as far as to gather up a bunch of collaborators?
Not for 8th. I haven't really thought about it. Yeah, I've thought about our 10th anniversary a little bit, just because some of that stuff, if you want to get things into barrel, like you got to be thinking way ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually for anniversary, we'd like to get a new brewery or 2 that we have not collaborated with.
Okay.
So that often kind of sets the tempo for it. So if the 2 new breweries we haven't worked with are in New York State, for example, then that kind of sends us in that direction.
Gotcha.
I haven't thought too much like for this year in particular, like du Bas-Canada, we had not done a collab with. Nano Cinco, we had done one there. And then Jackalhop, we hadn't done a collab with. So all 3 of those ones were new for us, and we're in Quebec, obviously. So that helped kind of guide that theme.
Right. Okay. So it's sort of like, I guess also you knew a lot of those, like when you say new, like a new brewery you hadn't collabed with before, but like had you had those relationships? I know you've worked with Sir John and stuff in the past. Like going into a new area, you'd probably is having an existing relationship helpful, or do you just like cold reach out to be like, hey guys, we're doing an anniversary, we'd love to collab? Like, how does that usually go?
The way, like, if we haven't met them at a festival or something already, which is often like we did a festival in the Netherlands this past summer, and it was like a Canadian kind of showcase. So they had us and Badlands and Third Moon and Ketch and du Bas-Canada. So like, I can't remember who else was there. I feel like there's one more. But anyway, so we'd met a lot of these guys at things like that. Like that's where we had met Gabe from du Bas-Canada, for example.
Nice.
But a lot of the time too, like if there's just a new brewery or brewery that I haven't personally experienced, I'll often reach out and ask if they want to swap beers, introduce myself, just because I'm like genuinely curious about trying their beers, and I'm happy to share ours too. So someone like Zach at Bad Bones, for example, like that's how I met him initially. I just reached out and said, I'd love to try beers. I heard they're awesome. We exchanged beers. You end up chatting a little bit, and then you like, so I'm not reaching out to do a collaboration necessarily, right. But more it often ends up being the case once you get chatting with that person. We're brewing similar styles, and
that's smart. That's a good way to do it. Just because it's sort of like a more organic rather than like a opportunistic. It's more to say, hey man, I heard your shit's fire. Let me share that. So I think you might like our stuff too. Yeah, I like that. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah. I'm always genuinely just a beer fan, kind of first and foremost. So if there's someone close by doing something that it sounds exciting that I haven't had the opportunity to try, then I want to get my hands on it.
Hell yeah. No, it makes
I
sense.
love that.
Yeah, and you're even on your personal Instagram, you get hold of some fire. It's always enjoy whenever you have a post. I'm always like, oh, what's Greg on right now? It's always just like something bonkers. I guess we did the bottle share. That's something else, man. There's so many different things. We did a bottle share at Counterpart. When was that? Last fall.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. It doesn't feel like that long ago, but maybe it was fall.
I think it might have been September. Yeah, but that was sick. Yeah, dudes were like, because you guys attract a lot of the, how to say it, the beer trader cats who are like grabbing stuff to trade, particularly like from your bottles. I imagine is probably a big attraction, as well as the haze for those kind of dudes. If they're going to go to the States, they're going to bring the fire from up here. So it kind of makes a lot of sense. And
I'd say especially with the like with the bottle enthusiasts, like the ones who are who are into the barley wines and and the barrel aged stouts, because those guys go hard. The ones who are deep in the trading network of of those are the ones that still have a trading market these days.
Truly.
Yeah, in that category beer, like for one, they ship the best and hold up the best. Like you can ship them across the country without too much concerns about degradation, but also you can sit on them for a bit. Like often if you're trading beers and you're getting them sent to you from California or whatever, in their IPAs, you already know they're probably a little bit past their prime, and then you feel pressure to drink them all right away. Like that's the nice thing about barrel aged beers. You can have like a fridge full of, you can kind of stock up on it. So if I'm doing a trade for barrel aged stouts, if I can, get a dozen from different breweries and add them to my fridge, it's there's less concern about quality issues, and also I think there's more separation between the best barrel aged producers than there is in the best hazy IPA producers, for example. Like that elite category of hazy IPAs, like they all have their own twist on it to some degree, but there's more of a distinct kind of level. Like if you're in that top tier, they're all fantastic. Versus with barrel aged stout, you can try all the beers in the world, and some beer, like specific beers, or some breweries still are just head and shoulders above the other, or like they'll have one bottle that's like just will blow your mind. And I think it's the only category that can like really do that, and it's worth enormous efforts to seek out those experiences.
Enormous efforts. I like that. So I went to that bottle share and I met that dude Dan. Then he invited me to another one like the weekend before I went to Australia, and I swear either him or someone there was telling me that dudes were trading multiple things from the States for a double barrel deciduous or coniferous, one of the two. Like it holds like that to say it holds some serious like. People are excited about it, and there's some serious sway. Yeah, people are like throwing down. That's what always pissed me off about trading. I like Nate and I, we get stuff for each other all the time, but we just keep a running note of the money, and that's not a thing. It's like, hey man, I'm getting this. So, like I grab him the Counterpart stuff all the time. We just have a note. We just settle up once a month or something. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Whereas when you go trade, I'm like, oh bro, I got you this Counterpart. Like, can you get me something from Ottawa that's like this? Like, fuck off. Like I hate that shit. Let's just do the money, but people try and do, no, this bottle's worth 2 of those. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. It always was a bit of a turnoff, I feel like. So
yeah.
Do you have to deal with that as a drinker from your side doing that, or is it more of like a straight up and down transaction?
Like when I'm trading beer?
Yeah. I mean, you probably got trusted partners.
I always try to do it. Yeah. Like I've stayed away from the kind of the secondary market entirely just because I don't like what it stands for and how it, what it does for the industry. Like in terms of paying $300 for something that was $30, but like I will try to generally trade kind of dollar for dollar, just because that seems like a fair way to do it, or bottle for bottle, like depending on what the other person's comfortable with.
Gotcha.
But it does make sense to me if you're trading for side project and it's $60 US for a bottle, it does make sense to match up the dollars at least to some degree.
Yep.
But yeah, some combination of bottle for bottle or dollar for dollar. But I'm never trading for the secondary value of that bottle. Like you can't say, well, like it's selling for $300. That's not a game I like to play.
No, it just seems like you're gonna lose that, and then it's just not gonna work out. I've heard like horror stories from different people, so it's kind of crazy. That was a bit of a tangent.
It's just not in the spirit of it. Like I think the spirit of it is the idea of sharing something that's great from your area for something that's great in another area that neither one of you would have been able to try if you didn't help each other out. And I think that's kind of the idea behind it.
And the dollar for dollar makes the most sense. I like that.
Yeah.
Because things are worth different amounts. So as long as it ends up fair, really, that's the best way to do equity.
Yeah. It's definitely the fairest and most honest way to go about it.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. Do we want to get into something else? Any other topics before we just keep because we got a bunch of beers to go through. So I know we're trying to keep. Well,
we should definitely get to the next beer, and then we can keep it going. Like whether we change topics or not, we should crack the next one.
Down. Yeah. Folklore, exceptional. Loved it.
Fantastic.
We doing 7, yeah?
Yep.
Let's go. I'm excited for this one. So this was one of the ones that I haven't tried yet. So I'm pretty stoked.
Same. I also haven't tried this one yet.
Yeah, I've been waiting. So this year, so every year you do the one that's named after the number of the anniversary. So obviously we have 7 here, and this is the only one that isn't a collab, which is that true, Greg?
Yep. And that's generally the case every year for anniversary.
Okay. That's what I thought. And this year you went. I swear it wasn't a pale ale last year, or was it? Am I tripping?
Here's a pale last year. It was an IPA the first year that we did it, which I believe was 4.
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was an IPA the first year that we did that.
Okay, beautiful. And this year, sorry, I didn't even mention, it's a pale ale with Nectaron Citra and Rawaka at 5.2%.
Correct.
I feel like you guys pump out the pale ales. You guys are one of the breweries that I feel like do it more often as far as the breweries in your category.
I would say that's accurate.
Yeah, I kind of always feel like everyone does them. Like all your contemporaries in this sort of haze, like I guess easy, the hype sort of breweries who make those styles that are highly sought after. But I feel like it's sort of fewer and further between, and I imagine it's probably because of the clientele that come through the brewery itself. They maybe want the low ABV stuff. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think it's because compared to most breweries that brew the styles that we specialize in, like specifically hazy IPAs, we've got certainly like the restaurant component, but more seats than a lot of these breweries. So in turn, we sell a lot more beer on draft. Right. For a lot of for a Badlands or Third Moon or a lot of these breweries that specialize in style. I don't know what the ratio is, but I'm guessing they sell a lot more cans to go versus their draft on premise. Versus for us, we always sell a lot more draft on premise just because of the restaurant component, because of the seats. Right. It's also when we have the food element, having beer that pairs well with food is important too. Mm-hmm. So we just have some considerations on our end that are maybe a little bit different than some of the other breweries. But yeah, we also have a lot of local licensees in particular that keep our hazy pale ales on kind of year round, whatever it is that we're offering. So we try to kind of keep them going too.
That makes a lot of sense. I like it. I think it's great, to have this type of stuff available regularly at the brewery as well. You can, don't feel so bad driving if you're crushing these and some Krispies as well. Gentlemen, get that in you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Nose is great. It's like, wow. I love it when a pale ale kind of oh shit, that's punchy.
Yeah, that pops.
Yeah, I can definitely get that Rawaka juice sort of vibe in the background there. Mango, a bit of stone fruit, pithy citrus, but it's like the body is really. I always feel like the body of Counterpart hazy IPAs is always exceptional, and I love it when it carries on to pale ales like this. You don't always expect
the same thing.
Yeah, right. You don't always.
See, that's one of the categories, like pale ales in general, I think, where we've had the most improvement over the last year or so. The goal ultimately is to have a drink as close to an IPA as you can while having the benefit of the lower ABV, but try to sacrifice as little as possible from that reduced ABV. So body, sweetness, aroma, trying to have all those things be comparable to an IPA in a smaller format. That's kind of the goal.
Right. I would say that's pretty across the flow series. That's pale ale's the flow. No. Yeah. Deep as the IPA, flow is the pale ale. Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
And I feel like there's basically almost always a new one on every time I go by, which is really cool. So it keeps it sort of fun. And I always feel like whenever, I don't know if I said this on the other pods, Tiff and I always trip out when we go to Counterpart and there's 2 80-year-olds playing bridge, drinking fucking hazy IPAs or hazy pale ale. I'm like, I always just wonder, I'm like, do you know the level of fire that you're consuming right now? Or this is just your local and you love it. And maybe you just don't really understand sort of the weight that it holds. It's awesome. It's cute. I think it's fantastic. And it's just cool to see people maybe who don't know, they're not beer nerds and shit. And I mean,
I feel like I feel like it's almost a better story if they have no idea. It's just like I don't know. They're like, it's nearby, and I like the food here. So this is where I come to play bridge.
I can't see through the beers. It's just, I don't know why.
Yeah. It honestly does. It does
Sorry,
keep you. It does keep you, humble to some degree. Like the idea, like that we have people at the brewery that don't have any clue, kind of, what makes us special from a beer perspective. Mm-hmm. They're not here, pumping us up about how great we are. They're just, just enjoying the beer as though it's any other beer. And then it's also, a challenge for us and our front of house team to kind of get those people excited about beer and, educate them on kind of what makes our beer special. And so, I like getting the multiple kind of layers of, experienced drinkers. We get those people that are absolutely stoked about what we're doing. People have no clue what we're doing, and everything kind of in between. So it kind of keeps us on our toes, and we're always, trying to convert more people to what we're doing.
Yeah. I like that though. It's just like a little bonus that kind of, I think depending on, I would imagine for a lot of breweries like that, like from location based, like, Badlands is close to Brampton, and you get a bunch of people who probably just, this is a fun day. I can go hang out on this little farm brewery and drink this fire. And you got these people in Niagara Falls who just live in the area and come by and like, this is my fun local place. I love it. And I know, I like it. It's kind of cool. It's just like it balances out the fucking hype haze nerds, dominating the whole tap room all the time, and everyone's on Untapped and whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, the fact that we do food as well as we do is automatically going to bring in a bunch of people that more just care about that. But also being in Niagara Falls, you get so many people traveling to Niagara Falls for other reasons. And then they ask someone, local, where a good spot to go is. So they come in having no impression of, who we are. And so there's a few things that kind of factor into that.
That's dope, man. I love it. This is a banger. By the way, all these beers, this episode will come out in 2 weeks' time. From now, we're recording this March 26th. As of, I know you sort of hard to predict, but would any of the beers that we're drinking be available by the time this pod comes out in a couple Wednesdays' time?
No, all the hoppy beers we've sold out of already.
Okay.
Everything will be sold out within probably a week or so.
Okay, gotcha. Well, tough shit, guys. You're going to have to watch us drinking.
It's always next year.
But, there's always next year, and there's always incredible stuff. I feel like that's one thing. Like, you guys are pumping out. You guys are dropping stuff basically every week, right? Well, definitely every week.
Every other week, we package new beers. So we do anywhere from 2 to 5 beers, usually every 2 weeks.
Okay.
We have 5 coming out next week.
Right, 5 next week.
Damn.
Okay. There you go. So people are going to come through. Yeah, 5 is a lot. Is that is there anything crazy happening, or it's
No, it's just the anniversary always does funny things to our schedule because it's you brew so many beers for it. They sell it abnormally quickly. So it's a hard kind of transient time to work through. So it always like we're down to 4 beers on tap, I want to say, before we released our anniversary stuff, which is like unheard of. Like we always have 12 beers on tap, give or take. Okay. So it usually causes like a drought, followed by like a massive influx of new beers, followed by a drought. And then it takes some time, that teeter-totter, to kind of balance it out.
Level out. Well, yeah, so by the time people hear this, there'll be plenty of new stuff. That's
by the time people hear it, will be, you said 2 weeks, will be...
So you could even tell them because it'll be announced publicly, yeah.
Yeah, like we'll be like a month out or so from Flow Fest, which is our festival that we had, our inaugural Flow Fest last year, which was our kind of Ontario Beer Festival.
Okay.
But that's on June 20th this year. We're doing it earlier, so we won't be far from that at that point, and that'll be the next thing that we load up for, where we'll do a bunch of collabs and a bunch of releases for that. So that'll be not too far off by the time this drops.
Okay, sick. That's that might be a cool segue, since we're chatting about that. So last year you guys held your first ever festival called Flow Fest at the what was the place called again? The Niagara
Exchange.
That's it. The damn camera keeps freezing. And yeah, man, tell us about the festival, because you basically brought in, it's like the best of the best in Ontario to come through. It was kind of just like a hang. I came down and it was just everybody I knew. I went by myself because Tiff had stuff to do, and we were like, I was like, I don't know who's going to be there. And I walked in. I bought all the tickets. I didn't use anything. I just pulled up and I was just like talking to people back to back to back. And stayed after everyone was packing up and shit. It was sick. I was like, damn, I should have come earlier. Talk to us. Yeah, how did that come about? How did it go down?
Yeah, we've been working with some of the people at the city for a while, years. Like we'll provide beers for some of their various events and stuff that they do at their event center there. And yeah, just like genuinely wicked people that are really excited about beer. And I can't remember exactly how, but I think they brought it to me, like just the idea of like, what do you guys think about doing, collaborating on a beer festival? So the idea was, they have this great, like perfect venue for it. They have a lot of like the administrative setup in terms of like, security and the online presence for selling tickets and doing that side of things. And yeah, like we had been talking and planning to do a beer festival. We would have just done it at the brewery in our parking lot, and we intended to do that at some point. But yeah, once we chatted with them about it, just kind of made a ton of sense. And the idea too that they were completely on board with the idea that we were going to take over the parts of the festival that were really important to us in terms of like inviting the breweries and even like things like dictating, what the divvy of sales was going to look like. Like I wanted to make sure that the breweries were treated really fairly. I wanted to make sure that there wasn't like entry fees, like you're not paying $500 for a brewery to get your booth. Things that are always a deterrent for me to do festivals. And the city was on board. They just wanted to throw a cool event that lots of people would come to. Dope. And yeah, it worked out just because it's the middle of summer, like it's the end of July we did last year. And I invited, I think like 23 breweries, which are all, people that I know really well, people that we've worked with. And I think like 22 of them were able to come, which is just lucky. I'm sure like the idea that people wanted to come is great, but the fact that everyone could do it amongst their own busy schedules. So it just worked out really, really well. And yeah, it was an awesome event. Like the breweries that came, I think all had an awesome time. We hosted them all at the brewery after, and we, shared a bunch of beers and had a bunch of pizza. So we made sure that the breweries had a good time. The customers that, came to the festival all seemed just genuinely thrilled that something like this was happening in Niagara Falls, because being in Niagara Falls, you don't have stuff like that happen very often. So yeah, it was just overwhelmingly kind of positive event, not only like at the festival, but we did like an event at the brewery as well. And we had a shuttle going back and forth between the two locations all day. And yeah, it was a blast. It's one of those experiences really memorable for me, and something that we were all really proud to be part of.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, it was such a vibe. It was really cool, the energy there. And it was like, I just kept seeing everybody I knew and just stopping and talking. Like Maddie from Tooth and Nail were there, and Rob and Ryan from All My Friends, and fucking Maddie from Rorschach, and and Mark from Barrowheart. Every time I was like, walk 3 steps, like, oh shit, what are you gonna? And just I was like, because I was talking to people for so long, I was just watching like the punters like drink and what they were doing. People were just like stoked, and they were coming up and asking like good questions. They seemed like really into it. It was cool, and it had the indoor outdoor, so it was kind of like, and even the outdoor was undercover. So if it was bad weather, it wouldn't have really mattered. It was really well done, bro. And people seemed super stoked, and I came by for that pizza for a little bit afterwards. It was sick. Dudes were jamming. Dudes were getting lit. It was fun.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, we had I think 700 people out for
Damn.
Yeah, first time thing. Like we didn't know what the reception was going to be, so
great numbers.
We sold out of tickets, and then I know like the guys at the door were improvising and like making more tickets on the fly. Like because we ended up going over by 20 tickets or something like that. So yeah, it was cool. It was great.
That's sick, dude.
But so yeah, we've got that coming up again.
Talk to us. What can you say? Well, when does it get? And I guess it's going to be announced.
We're going to announce the date, I think, like tomorrow or the next day. So
okay, good.
When this airs, it'll already be out.
Oh, good. So you can say everything.
June, I think it's June 20. It's
June 20.
The day before Father's Day.
Okay.
The Saturday before Father's Day. And yeah, similar beer or brewery list to last year. We have a couple that couldn't make it, a couple new ones coming in this year. Okay. But it'll be in and around that 2022 mark in terms of like breweries again.
Amazing.
Have some different bands, some different food vendors. On our end, it'll be different collaborations, different releases for this festival. We'll try to tie in some barrel aged stuff as well, and
nice.
It'll be more of the same, but hopefully some new elements that kind of keep it new and interesting for everyone too.
Hell yeah, you did. I forgot about that. You did a bunch of FlowFest drops last year.
Yeah, we did. I want to say 5 or so collabs with other breweries that were attending the festival.
Amazing.
And we had I can't remember what that was. Might have been the Circle series, we had a set of barrel aged stout that we released as well.
Oh, what would that have been?
I don't know. It might have been the double barrel circle, maybe.
The double barrel circle, maybe. Yeah, that sounds like it could have been.
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to find it on Instagram here. It was a 3 double barrel circle.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was like the main one. You had the FlowFest. I guess I don't know if that was a collab with Willowboard because it was called what the. I was about to like not swear. I was like, what the fuck is like? Where am I right now? What the fuck is Flow? Yeah, the Flow and Oats.
Your podcast.
I know. That must have been Flow and Oats. Would have been with Fine Balance probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Andrew was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Zombie Hater was with.
That was with Rorschach.
Rorschach, of course. Kiwi Flow.
That was Badlands.
Badlands. Zombie Royale. That was Bellwoods.
Yeah.
Cerveza, the Mexican lager.
That was Burdock.
Makes sense. Boom. That's a pretty sick bunch of releases. This is like almost that's more than 5 plus the 3 fucking double barrels. That's awesome.
Yeah, literally while I'm talking about it, I'm having like a small panic attack, realizing that it's not that far away, and I haven't started planning any of these things out yet. So I've
sorry,
I've got a little bit of work to do.
You got 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Is there any? When do the breweries get announced publicly? Is that
it won't be. Yeah, it'll like by the time this releases, it'll probably be around then.
Okay. Is there any? Do you want to say any yet, or do you want to like just let people follow?
Yes, we had a couple that couldn't make it this year, and then like we had Rouge River last year was going to be a part of it, but Jordan had to back out last second because he had a personal obligation.
Gotcha.
This year we've got Dune Hopper joining.
Nice.
We've got Gather joining.
Fuck yeah!
Right on.
The homies.
I've been trying my very best to wrangle Godspeed, but I don't know if Bim's going to be able to take it on yet. But we'll. I'm continuing to fight that fight because I personally want to be drinking Godspeed that day.
Keep pushing.
Literally one of the busiest guys in Ontario beer, I think.
Yeah, like he doesn't live here anymore, right? So like that's and they don't have like similar to us, they don't have an event team that does things like this full time. But that'd be that's on my personal wish list. But I think that might be it for new breweries. But it's largely like most the guys that came out last year we're down to do it again this year. So we had a good foundation we're working from.
That's a really great lineup, and I love that. Like, particularly, obviously, Nate and I reacted strong to Dune Hopper and Gather because they've become good friends. Like, hanging we've had him on multiple times. Like Mike from Gather, we been hanging with him a bunch, particularly like the OCB and stuff. And they're really like coming up. And I think they would be moist to be invited. I imagine like it would mean a lot to them to be able to pour their stuff alongside the people who inspired them to do it. I think that's really cool, man.
Yeah, and I've never met in person folks from either of those breweries, so that's always a fun part of things like this, right? It's just meeting the people.
You love them. They're all
Colin and Steph from Dune Hopper are some of the nicest people that you'd ever meet.
Yeah, I imagine probably Steph would probably have to run the brewery and Colin would come down for it.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, but Mike will probably come through with that, which is sick. So it's cool. It's really nice, and it's cool to also expose their stuff. They're sort of in that sort of the newer tier that are coming through in that same vein, doing like incredible haze. I love it. But people can hear the noise there. Just we're talking off air. Greg and Andrea have some chickens,
Oh, can you hear them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can.
I love it. I think it's awesome. It's like a farm.
They're singing.
They're going hard. Chickens.
Yeah,
Shout out the chickens.
Yeah, we hatched some chickens the other day. They're like 3 days old.
Super cute. I love it. Shout out to chickens. But yeah, man, that's awesome. So people can. When did tickets go on sale?
I literally asked the question from the folks down at the city today. Just asked when that would be available. It'll be soon, but I think they're still working on getting that up.
Okay, beautiful. So people can stay tuned to that. That's exciting, man. I love it. That's fantastic. I haven't really been paying attention to the time. Are we due for the next one, or are we all right?
We are. I was just about to say, and like that seems like we've capped that one off nicely. So it's a perfect time.
Love it. So 7, fantastic. Really glad we got to get that in us. Next one. Are we going? We keeping on the 6.5%?
Yeah, we'll go Dead Sea too.
Let it go Dead Sea. So I had this on tap. So I had Folklore and I had Dead Sea at the brewery the day after the anniversary.
And I had another can of this one already last week.
Yes, you did. Which is great. That was smart. This was such a banger last year.
Yeah.
And this year, it is equally a banger. This is a 6.5% IPA with the fucking Peacherine Lords at Ketch with Nelson Sauvin, Peacherine Motueka, and Peacherine Hopkeep, which is a new one. I hadn't even thought about Peacherine.
Yeah, I don't think I'd seen that before.
That is so cool. So of course you had to do this one. Did you guys I imagine the Peacherine conversation was pretty prevalent with this one, Greg?
Yeah, it's funny actually because Freestyle reached out to all, at least the brewers in Ontario, I assume beyond that, when they introduced Peacherine Hopkeeps, they reached out to all the breweries and asked. Yeah, they said we've got, I think it's Peacherine Hopkeef and Nelson Bliss Hopkeef, I think was the other one, but they had 2 new Keef kind of products. They reached out to all the breweries and asked whether they wanted to give it a try. So they're sending out samples to all the breweries, and it was just one per brewery kind of deal.
Right.
And so we signed up to get some Peacherine sent to us, and they sent us and we ordered some hops at the same time, and they sent us out our order. And when it arrived, we had hops from 3 different breweries, none of which were us. So they're we got a bunch of Ketch's hops. I can't remember who, but they're all Quebec brewers, and we received lots of these hops from that were not supposed to be addressed to us. But anyway, one of them was Guillaume, from Ketch's, his sample of Peacherine Hopkeef. And he was if you guys know him and how passionate he is, he was so stoked to get his hands on this Peacherine Hopkeef. I sent him a picture of it, saying, "I've got your Hopkeef kind of deal," and he was devastated. And just because of the mix-up, it wasn't Freestyle's fault at all. It was just a courier thing.
Gotcha.
But as an apology for all the mix-up and stuff, they said, just keep that. We'll send you another one. So we got to keep Ketch's Hopkeef.
Oh god damn!
And then it seemed only they got sent another one, but it seemed only fair to then use that in our club with them. So it's kind of funny. Kind of funny how that came to be.
Fuck yeah! Okay, that's great. I'm glad you told us that. That's awesome.
That's a great story.
I'm glad it worked out to both of you. I mean, this one is such a banger. First of all, cheers, legends.
Cheers.
Get that up, yeah. The head on all these beers is bonkers, by the way.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Fuck off. It's just as good out of the can as it is out of the on tap. Peacherine Hopkeef. How did you find it? Any thoughts? Did Guillaume have thoughts? What's going on?
Yeah, I've all the Hopkeef products. I've really liked them all. It's just we always use primarily pellets. We use some hop products, some advanced hop products, but we always rely heavily on pellets. I think most breweries do it. You get the best flavor, the best aromatics, the best haze retention, things like that.
Gotcha.
But these advanced hop products are great for just that extra pop, just to push it kind of over the edge. And I think it does that in a big way. We did aim to have this IPA, we're trying to brew a slightly bigger bodied, a slightly sweeter IPA, and just be able to have that extra, that extra punch behind it. I think really helped balance things out and kind of take it to the next level.
Yeah. And and You guys tell me if you think I'm wrong on this, but with that extra body and that kind of bit of extra sweetness, and particularly with featuring so prominently, to me, this tastes like a Ketch IPA. Mm. It's one of those things of like no one uses more peacherine than them, and like with their honey edition, usually it sometimes comes off a little bit sweeter, and just their body is more usually in that range. So like this reminds me of a Ketch IPA.
Yeah, that's the goal. Like we tweaked our grain bill. Like we were already in a pretty similar spot in terms of what our approach to each of these, our respective approaches to the style. But we swapped out our base grain for just a different Pilsner malt that they use versus what we use. We do use a different yeast for this one as well. So there were some things from Ketch's game plan that we integrated into this one. For Dead Sea 2, which we did, so good. I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago or so, we brewed that one with honey.
Yes.
And for me, like I love Ketch's IPAs; they're phenomenal. But when we brewed with honey, like I found it really dried the beer out to a point that it muted the hop expression a lot. Like just like honey, generally speaking, is more fermentable than grain. So you're pulling out a little bit of grain, you're adding the honey, and it ended up just in a drier spot than I would have liked. So I really enjoyed that beer, but it wasn't as expressive as I would have liked. So last time around, that was the thing that we incorporated from Ketch's playbook. So this time we decided to ditch that aspect and integrate some other parts about their recipe formulation. And I personally like this one a lot better. I enjoyed the first one too, but this one I love.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, that's. I was going to ask about that, so thank you for bringing that up. So I pulled up the other one. So it is honey, along with Peacherine, Southern Cross, and Centennial, which also Centennial, even just in hindsight looking at that, that's an interesting choice. In this style of beer. Do you remember why you guys did that for the first one?
Yeah, we were chatting like Gim came down for that one, and John and I were sitting around chatting with this beer, and that was John's a giant Centennial fan, and we use Centennial a lot more in the Whirlpool than anything, but we hadn't used it on the dry hop side in a while, and like John said, he never cares too much whether we actually use the hops that he wants, because he knows that our fans don't really align with his palate, like specifically when it comes to IPAs. Okay. But Guillaume was real, like he's like honestly like he loves Centennial as well, so he was excited to kind of try some of that old school with the new school, and we've done it before with success. Like one of the first collabs we did with Third Moon, we did, I think it was like Citra, Equinaut, and Centennial as well. And at the time it was like the highest rated IPA that we had done. So we've pulled off Centennial a number of times with success.
Right.
Even though it's not a big part of what we do. So yeah, sometimes, especially when you're doing collaborations, it's an excuse to do something a little bit different. So we always try to take advantage of that.
I like that. I like that experimental thing, and it's cool to it's almost like a flex if you can make that shit work. Like, look,
for sure.
Clearly, the three of us love Westies, and Centennial is one of the god tier hops. It's just an interesting choice, and I gave that beer that was before I paid for Untapped, so I gave it 4.75, and I gave this a 4.8. So I basically would have rated them the same. So I clearly loved it. Cool. This is absolutely glorious. I fucking love this so much.
It's fantastic. Yeah,
it's such and Nate, you are so correct, because when I had it was at the brewery I was eating, so I don't know if I was thinking about the beer as much, and now sitting here we're all talking about it. I can absolutely see what you're talking about with the Ketch characteristics, and now you broke that down, Greg. I can definitely see that, and it's such a cool. I feel like that is the essence of the collabs, is being able to, if someone drank this blind, and they'd be like, "Is this a Ketch beer?" I'm like, well, mission accomplished. I imagine that's kind of whilst it's still a mashup, it's also still.
It's got elements of both for sure.
Exactly right. Like you could make a call for either way, and yeah, he'd be right. I just think it's so sick, and then having that peacherine in this one, I think it works so well. Was it Nelson and Mutueka? Yeah, it's just such a perfect combo that there's like the lime from the Motueka, and I guess Nelson, that white wine kind of like just supports that stone fruit, like peaches and cream, and the hop keef. What did you think that the hop keef actually and what did Guillaume think too? Like that the hop keef contributed as opposed to regular Peachtree T90s. I'm asking that as Peachtree fanboys.
Yeah, I didn't find like it really changed the flavor. Like, so when we dry hopped first, and when we transferred to bright, that's like we added it at that stage. So we already had our dry hop kind of set up. So we were able to see like basically a finished beer, and then added the hop keef, and it didn't really like change the flavor profile. It might have pushed it like a touch more in the tropical direction, but more than anything, it was just a nice boost in kind of intensity. And it just melded nicely with the flavors that are already going on in that beer. Like I think that trio of hops is probably the single best trio that exists.
I think you're right, dude.
So when it was tasting awesome out of tank. So when we added hop keef, we weren't necessarily looking to transform the beer, and you're adding maybe a sixth of your overall hop add in the form of hop keef. So it's not like most of the foundation's already kind of set at this point. You're just trying to add another layer, maybe another, ratcheting up that intensity a little bit. But I thought it was awesome. I've been impressed with everything Freestyle does. They just did their hop kind of juice line, which is another liquid hop product that we haven't used yet, but super stoked to use that. It's really cool being able to, when the hops are this great, it makes our job a lot easier.
Hell yeah. Freestyle hop juice. Oh, YET cold pressed hop juice. No shit. That's really
I think one of the releases that Third Moon announced today has one of those hop juices in it.
Okay, and it's like, it says type Sub-Zero hop keef is what it's calling this, the type of it. This is on their website. Grown by Freestyle, grown in Waimea Plains. Type Sub-Zero hop keef. Package 1 bottle. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a different process to extract the flavor aroma out of hops into liquid form. So it'd be in the same vein of hop keef, but it'd just be a different technology or procedure that they're using to achieve that.
Okay, and one question I want to ask, which is a little bit, excuse my ignorance, the hop keef itself, what's the format of hop keef? Is it a liquid or is it
it's a flowable, so it's a
flowable. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why it's in like these little canisters.
Oh fuck, we had them for we did them in the collabs. Yeah, we used the was it Nelson? There was no. Yeah, Maui Nelson.
Yeah, with the Ketch collabs.
That's why. And isn't there two different types of Maui Nelson? There's one called Cohere or something, and one.
Those are two different ones.
They're Maui Nelson and Cohere Nelson.
Cohere Nelson. Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay,
and Cohere Nelson we did with our Kanawaki collab a couple of years ago.
Which one? Oh, the first fake news. Yes. Okay. Amazing. Okay. Catching up.
And I was wrong, by the way. It was Badlands. In their April DEPA, it has the cold pressed YET hop juice.
Okay. So that one's really been like launching now, I guess, like literally right now in all these beers. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that I've tried any breweries that have used it yet. But yeah, we've got a 3-pack of them that we're excited to deploy at some point.
All right. Fuck yeah. That's beautiful. Well, on that, I might as well talk about, there's so many different things to touch on. So we did the collab with Counterpart, our first collab for our 10th anniversary last year, which was, fuck, man. Dude, it was so good. It was so cool being there on canning day and trying that beer. And of course, this beautiful, yes, there you go. Nathaniel's got that bad boy right there.
Sweet.
We had Peachtree, Nelson, and Rawaka. So it's actually pretty, if we had to swap them, Rawaka
it's a pretty fucking dope combo.
The Motueka, it would have been very similar. But this has got one of the best bodies of any beer I've ever. I know it's like easy to say because it feels like we're super biased, but fucking hell, man, this was
so
insane. this came out, and thank you again for doing this, dude. I really appreciate it. And this went down so well at the event. Like, people were losing their shit over it, and rightly so. It was bonkers. Like, the response, how was this? I must have asked you. I guess it was such a blur for us because it was like, as you know, you did Flow Fest. We did this not too long before you had the Flow. So, you know, we all went through that same festival thing on top of organizing the festival. I guess we had to make sure organize the logistics of 40 beers, which was something we don't really need to repeat again. It's, you know, I'm glad we did it. It's awesome. Ambitious. Yeah, I actually didn't tell you, Nate, but Tiff gave me we went through and found whatever footage that we took. So I edited a vlog. It's like 7.5 minutes and it's coming out tomorrow night. So
fucking amazing.
I just did the best I could with what we had. I found as many vertical pieces of content as we could. Just did my best. Because we were so hectic that we couldn't vlog it. We did 2 things talking, and I forgot that we even did it. I don't even remember doing it, if I'm honest. All that to say, this was just fucking bonkers, dude. And so, from Greg, from your side, from what you can remember, because I know it was a year ago or close to, do you remember how the reception was for this beer?
Yeah, like I remember. Well, I remember when you were there. I remember we tried one fresh off the line,
literally,
poured it at the bar there,
clear, like not even labeled or anything. I think it was like
silver bullet. It was like literally like the first one that's probably packaged. And remember personally just being stoked about it. The feedback at the brewery, the feedback from everyone I talked to was everyone was really jacked about it. On Untapped, which is always kind of like a funny sector that, you know, our beers exist in. Yeah. But it's one of those ones, like, for whatever reason, it started off like with ratings, in my opinion, that is extremely underrated. And I'm seeing the ratings roll, and I'm like, man, like I don't get it. Like, I've got pretty good grasp on, you know, what good, you know, hazy IPAs taste like, and this is a great you know, double IPA we have here. But it was just one of those ones that started off with a big leg, and then it kind of kept rising and got to a rating that, you know, we're pretty happy with. But
okay, good.
Early on with ratings, the first several disproportionately, you know, swing. You know, when you only have 10 ratings, 1 or 2 people can swing that quite a bit.
Right.
But yeah, it's one of those ones that, and we've had it happen before, where I'm like, man, like, is my palate broken or something I'm not getting here? Because, like, how are people not going crazy for this?
Right.
But you give it enough time and enough ratings, and the good beers always kind of settle out to where they should. And I think, long story short, it's a beer that went over really well for us. I think it's one of the best, like, hop combos that we've done. I thought it was great. I was stoked with it.
That makes me really happy to hear, dude. Like, that, I'm looking at it now, 252 ratings. It's 4.21 overall. People were checking into it. This is just on my ones of, like, my friends here, like, in October, and it came out in 4th of October, and he still gave it 4.5, and he got it from Durand, it said, and he drank it in October. Another dude, September, 4.5, love it. August, 4 point, and it looks great. Like, even if you look at these photos, like, this guy is in Quebec, but look how, like, murky that shit looks.
That doesn't look like that's fallen out at all.
No, like, that's pretty sick. I wonder if anybody else, because I always like look at, like, the ones that are my friends first. But someone had 7th of March. It's
come on,
and he gave it 4.5.
That's not as bad as it gets either.
Yeah?
Like, we had someone check in.
Someone gave it 4.75 in January. Sorry, keep talking.
We had someone check in Flood the other day, which is an IPA we did in probably like 2000, like early 2020.
Oh my god!
It's 6 years later.
Did they give it a good rating at least?
When they give it a shit rating, that drives me nuts.
Like, what do you think?
When people checking in with no rating just to say, like, you know,
had it.
Yeah, like
that's fun because it doesn't affect it, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
But it's when people checking it. I'm like, you have the best IPA on the planet. Leave it in your fridge for 4 years. It's not gonna represent itself well.
Not even under any circumstances. That's
if you do it with no rating, then it's like, you know, totally fair play. We've all had beers get lost in the back of the fridge before.
Yeah, then it's
fun to
experiment.
just see how they're doing.
Yeah,
but you got to rate it accordingly, and you can't kind of shit on it because you left it in the fridge. It doesn't mean it's a bad beer. It was great, but it's like milk sometimes.
And you have no idea whether it was good or bad at one point if it's that far gone. So it's but
couldn't agree more.
It is what it is.
One of the things that you said to me, which it kind of stuck with me for the last bit, and I brought it up to people when talking a few times, is you mentioned we got basically the first can off the line, because I came on canning day to try Money Talked, and it was fucking slapping. Because Rob, crazy about the hazy, shout out to Rob, he's a champion, and I remember he brought him and his boy some cans to drink it there. They were losing their minds. So I talked to him about it multiple times, and one thing you said to me was always like an IPA should be ready to drink the day it was canned. And I always thought that was like really dope, because sometimes some breweries make stuff that needs to sit in the, and that's totally fine. But I kind of like that ethos, is that the day that it's canned and you sell it, that person should be able to go home that evening and crack that, or take a draft pour at the brewery and it's good to go. It's not too green. It's not like, give it a week, bro, to be good. Like I just kind of like that approach. Could you sort of expand on that a little bit, or sort of where that sort of came from?
Yeah, again, that's my opinion. That doesn't mean that aligns with, the way that the philosophy all breweries have with their hoppy beers. But I think to have the expectation that your consumer is going to age your beer and then somehow time it where it's going to be, because they don't know when they get the can, whether it's going to peak in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or so to put that on them doesn't seem like a realistic expectation. But also, regardless of what you try to encourage your customers to do, like sit on this beer for 2 weeks or whatever, the reality is people are going to get that beer the day you release it and they're going to drink it. And I think the expectation from our end is that it should be tasting great from day one. If we're doing our job well, it tastes great for a decent window. I think for us, like, all of our beers hold up extremely well for the first, like, say 4 weeks. They're tasting as good as they can for that period of time. And then it's a slow degradation from that point on.
Okay.
But yeah, once we put our beer into a customer's hands, you only have that first experience one time, that first impression, and we want it to be great. So I can't imagine doing it any other way and feeling as though you're positioning yourself for success. But we all have our different strategies, behind why we do things.
I like that. Diplomatic. I respect it. And you are right though. Like it's I thought it was cool because no one had said it to me so directly before. But yeah, and also I guess it's kind of like process. Maybe some people's beers come up and you're like, fuck, this shit needs a week, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it just is what it is. Like, it's not like anyone's making beer that needs the day it's packaged. They would like to sell it, I imagine, too. And maybe just sometimes their processes dictate how long it needs to sit beforehand.
Yeah, it does matter how you sell your beer too. Like, again, we sell a lot of draft beer. That beer is pouring on our draft, like on our tap the day that we release it. So we have a lot of people trying our beer on day one. Mm-hmm. If you're like Troon, for example, in New Jersey would probably be the most kind of infamous for a brewery that is notorious for releasing a beer that people say, you got to sit on it for 3 weeks, sit on it for 4 weeks or whatever. Really? And they're like one of the most hyped hazy beer producers on the planet. Yeah. But the way their business model is they do all crowlers, they do 300 of them or whatever. They sell it immediately. And an enormous percentage of those are getting shipped all over the world via beer trades and so forth. So probably for them, a relatively small percentage of those beers are getting cracked in the first couple of days. So like they design their beers to have kind of a little bit more shelf life in that respect. So again, you got to consider how your beer is going to be consumed at the end of the day and then design it accordingly. Because that business models couldn't be further from our business model. So there are situations where, you might want to deviate from what our philosophy is to account for how and when your customer is going to be consuming, your beer.
Such a great point. I didn't know that about Troon having that 3 week thing. I know they're like, I think you were telling me actually how high. I've never tried them, and no, you would. I swear it was you that you were saying that they like do drops and you don't know. And didn't you go? You drove all the way or something, like you did like a 3 to 5 hour drive or something, and then you pull up and then it sold out or something like that. Although you're halfway back and then they post and you're like, fuck. And you turn around. Was that you? Tell me
that was Kane Brewery. That was Voodoo. I think when I was going for a barrel aged stout release. Okay. I'm almost positive because that's like a 4-hour trip. And maybe I
had it twisted.
But
did Trin do that? Andrew's coming to get the
she
haze.
is, yeah.
She needs the haze. I love it, making sure it doesn't go to waste because we're drinking a lot tonight. So, did Troon do that though? Do they the ones? Maybe someone else told me then.
Yes, that is how they release beers. They don't announce them in terms of like Tuesday at whatever time. They'll just do a post and say, "Hey, beer just dropped," and come. And there are all these New Jersey, craft beer nerds that have like the inside scoop on things, so they'll have a connection where they know that it's going to be released at some time. But they don't. It's not a publicly announced thing. It's here's our release date, and they just open up to sell again. I don't know how whether it's 300 or 500 or whatever, but it's a really limited amount of 32 ounce crowlers. They sell all their beer that way, and it's gone in an hour or whatever, and then they do it again in a couple days. They might do it again in 5 days after that. It's they're not the only one that has that business model, but it's an interesting one. It's worked for them for a lot of years now.
Damn. So what do you like? You have to be on a special group, or they don't post it on social? They just post it on.
No, they'll post it like on their Instagram, but it's released now. So if you can't leave your job and head over there, or have
you ain't getting it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But it's good enough and it's limited enough that the last concern they have is whether they're going to sell out. They also probably don't want to announce it and have people lined up, sleeping over in the parking lot overnight. And so again, like it's every business model has different strategies to execute it. So it's a unique one though. And I've been able to try a lot of their beer through the years, and it's always kind of cool because it's limited, it's hard to get, so you feel it's kind of neat whenever you have the experience to try their stuff.
I feel that. Damn. Okay, amazing. Shall we hit that next one?
Yep, let's keep it rolling.
Double time. That was absolutely exceptional.
Yes.
God.
Sir John on deck.
Yes. So this is the Dream Taker, I believe.
You are correct.
There's a whole series of Dream something beers, right? There's always.
We do a lot of Dream beers. Like that's part of our brand. But we did a beer with them called Dream Maker for our 5th anniversary.
Okay.
And so this is a play off of that.
Here for it. I love it. Now this is a 8.2% double IPA with the GOAT featuring Southern Cross, Rawaka, and Maui Nelson Hopkeef. Speaking of that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I never thought, Hopkeef, because you think of like the shit at the bottom of a grinder. And I was
Southern Cross is another one of those it's underrated, doesn't feel like the right word, but it's like one of those ones that's less hyped but should be more hyped.
Yeah, it's one of the best complementary hops in my opinion. Mm-hmm. The reason why it's probably a little bit less hyped is because it's typically not really a front man. Yeah. But it plays well with others. It's a great complementary hop.
And the Maui Nelson one, why did you choose to use the Hopkeef in this bad boy?
Part of the reason, like when we do collaborations, it's obviously driven by that back and forth of what does the other brewery want to try as well.
Okay.
But we'll often deploy some of these flowable products and collabs and our big releases in particular, because we've got a much greater demand from customers, from licensees, etc. So it's nice to be able to add the punchiness that we want from a hop perspective, but also not annihilate our yields on these beers, because we do have we have more beer going into more places for these types of beers. So we try to get our yields
a little tighter.
Yeah, as low losses as we can for some of these beers,
which is amazing.
That's ultimately like why these products exist. Like that's the main benefit of is one of the big downsides of these heavily hopped beers is the losses can just be enormous. So with these advanced products, you can really reduce those.
Oof, look at that! Jesus Christ, that's murk. Gentlemen,
yeah,
put that in your face.
Cheers.
Once again, Cheers. The head non-stop. All
it's
of them.
True.
Pillows.
Yep.
Fuck, so good. One thing you mentioned about these going to more places, I'd noticed, at least I can speak to Durand. Like, I feel like you've made a very conscientious or conscious effort to have, and Durand has been promoting it accordingly. Like when all of these beers dropped, they were like, "Yo, we have the Counterpart 7th anniversary beers." I thought that was sick. That there was, because I know that there's like it's difficult because I know you don't have, like, I know you're personally doing a lot of these drops, which you're a busy guy already and you got to fucking drop beer to all the stores. But I thought that was really cool. I think it's sort of it makes it like an event at these independent beer stores, which I think are imperative to craft beer. I think they're so important. Like whether it's Durand or Sidewalk with Mark up in Waterloo, or who else is popping right now? I always forget who else is doing good.
Arabella.
Of course, Arabella killer. Milos, to see how he has a good fridge out there.
Milos,
Cookie in Windsor,
Brood and
Barry, Volo in Toronto.
Bar Lupulus out here does those a lot.
Hell yeah! Like all of those.
Cheshire Cat's another good one, Ottawa.
Yes. That is another great one. It's true.
I love it. I just think it's so sick, and I like that those stores who continually support their favorite breweries, and they typically would revolve around what we would, the three of us like to drink. Haze and Crispies really is probably the majority. Like whether it's like True History, Godspeed, or like Counterpart, Badlands, Third Moon, Will of Bold, Fine Balance, etc. And I just think it's really cool. Was that something that you had sort of proactively sort of thought about, being like, hey, let's make this more of an event, not just within your, because you got it to them early, because sometimes they wouldn't always have them. Well, traditionally I would say Durand wouldn't always get the Counterpart stuff until maybe a little bit after. There'd be like a delay, but I feel like they had it release day now. So was that something like a change of strategy at all from your side?
Yeah, a little bit. For starters, it's like when we do these big events, and there's a few of them a year that we do now, like the anniversary is certainly the big one. Now that we're doing Flow Fest is hopefully an annual thing. That's always another big one. For Halloween, we do more releases as well. So for these big releases in particular, I'll reach out 6-8 weeks in advance and like actively do pre-sales. Just because there's, for one, we can, if it's early enough and we have an idea for like what the demand is, we can adjust our brews accordingly to be able to brew a little bit more, a little bit less. So we can factor that in. But also, just the logistics side of these big releases are so onerous. And as you mentioned, like I do all of that side really myself, in addition to a lot of things leading up to those events. And so like for our anniversary, like I'll have a car rented from, we'll package them on Tuesday, and I'll have a car rented, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'm out delivering all over the place. And we're also sending beer off to Europe and getting ready for the release at the brewery and then online release. And like, there's just so much beer going so many directions really quickly. So the more out ahead of that I can get, but also it positions our licensees, who we obviously rely on very heavily to kind of co-promote these things with us, positions them to be able to plan accordingly as well. So if they know weeks out that that's going to happen, they can plan their purchasing around that. They can promote around that. so it's a really mutually beneficial thing. Like I'm always so appreciative of the licensees because we've got close relationships with all these people when they want to bring in all of our beer for these things, and I feel that reciprocated as well. Like they're always really appreciative to have the opportunity to have all these beers and to be able to showcase that and run an event kind of around that. So I think it is a really mutually beneficial thing. And like similar to myself, like we're all busy. We have a lot of balls in the air. If I can do a better job getting information, into these people's hands earlier, they can plan accordingly, and we can all kind of maximize the events surrounding it.
Hell yeah, man! I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's a really smart thing, and I think that I agree with you that I think the licensees really appreciate it too. I feel like they get psyched because it's a good look for them to be like, oh, we've got all the Counterpart stuff. So if you can't make it down to Niagara Falls, like we have it right here, and it's, their markup is quite reasonable. And
like as someone who's gone to events like that out here in Ottawa from like Toronto or other area breweries, it is really cool to feel like you can still participate in those events. It's so like it's good on it's good on your favorite beer bar or whatnot that they're doing kind of like a satellite operation of the event, and so it's great for them. It's great for you guys because your product is still getting celebrated out here, and it's great for folks who live nowhere near the breweries that we still kind of get to participate in a version of the event. Can't say enough good about that.
For sure. Yeah, it's I know like for me and my own journey in this industry, like craft beer bars have been an enormous part of like not only me advancing my own interest in beer, but also like introducing me to new breweries. And so I certainly never underestimate how powerful those relationships are.
Yeah, it's sick. Have you guys done like tap take over and above like making sure that the different bars have the canned products? Have you done like tap takeovers at all for like get 6 of the, even if it's not all 9, for example, because I know it's kind of hard to pour smoothies and shit. But like done any sort of takeovers like that around special events? Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, Arabella Park's always the best one for that for us. Like we always
I could see
that. We've done a bunch of different events with them, but they're always kind of first in line to do that sort of stuff. But we'll do like not necessarily tap takeovers, but they'll have like, say in this case we had 7 beers available on draft because the smoothies weren't available on draft, and then our barrel aged stuff. We had 11 releases for anniversary, but 7 of which were on tap or available in kegs, and we had probably a dozen or more licensees. They'll bring in say 5 of them, so they're doing more of like a tap feature versus a tap takeover.
Sure.
But yeah, it's great, and then it's enough beer that like enough of, and they might bring in 5 kegs, and then they'll bring in all of the cans as well and sell those to go. So it's enough that they're doing what their weekend release is kind of revolving around that, which is wicked. That's to see that. So it's very satisfying.
Hell yeah, man. I think it's beautiful, and I think that's really what it's kind of all about, because it keeps that excitement, satellite excitement, where it's like people, it might be in Kitchener or Waterloo, whatever, who can't make it down, who are just like, well, I can buy all 9 of the cans aside from the bottles, which we'll talk about later, and they're quite limited for a good reason. But you can also try a decent amount on tap, like a tap feature. I hadn't thought of it in that terms. That's sick. That's I kind of almost think that's like equally as good. Arabella has like 1 billion taps anyway, so you don't. It might be like
I take them over, but
no, and they've got like 22 taps or some shit like that. So
you wouldn't be able to go to Counterpie. There'd be no beer. But it sort of just really makes sense. I like that a lot. I just think it's like a cool, exciting.
It's great.
Isn't it dope, man? Like
it's really, really great.
I want to see more and more of it, and I like seeing that sort of all of it. We're mentioning so many different cool places here that, like, I'm sure there's probably other ones we're all missing and not thinking of, but I just think it's like such a fun awesome way to maintain excitement around craft beer at a time when it's a little, you know, trepidatious. There's all sorts of shit happening. I feel like every other day I log on and there's a brewery somewhere. It hasn't been as much, like Touchwood hasn't been as much in Canada or Ontario as it has been, but I feel like in Australia, in America, I'm seeing lots of closures, and
for sure.
We're still seeing them here too. Like and some some
true.
that are a bit surprising and are hitting deep.
Yeah. Pause.
Like even just in the last couple of months, like Two Crows, like out in Halifax,
shit.
and Kitchissippi here, like here in Ottawa, like those were two kind of ones that really hurt.
Yeah, that's a great fucking point. I guess I'd seen probably more from other places, but you're right. Those are two, like you're right. The ones that have been closing are very
painful,
super painful. So this is like having this type of stuff. The flip side is I think it's just really exciting, and it gives people like hope and sort of like, oh man, we can get excited about craft beer because they're not all closing. Like they are doing dropped with 11 beers for an anniversary, and we can get almost all of them here, and we can celebrate it and you know, drink a whole bunch of different ones on tap and take some other ones home. And I don't know, I just think that's like the best case scenario, aside from if people can't make the brewery itself, and it sort of expands that excitement, you know, bandwidth to as many places as possible, and particularly as far as Ottawa, like all the way to the Quebec border. I think that's incredible. It's really cool.
Yeah, and the reality too, like the struggles in terms of you know, some of the breweries are experiencing. It's not limited to breweries, like hospitalities in general. It's a difficult time, like not only because of, you know, where the economy's at, but just the still like lasting effect from COVID, and the extent to which that was has altered the way people socialize and the extent to which they socialize and out and about. So yeah, there's for us to be able to work with licensees and be able to, like, for them, like our beer, other people's beer, like that is their product. Like they don't have a product that's their own. They have most of my food, of course, but like from a beverage perspective, they rely on people like us making things that their customers can get excited about. So if we can, if we can work together for us to gain more exposure through them featuring our beers, for them to drive more business through featuring our beers, like it's just a great thing where, you know, everyone can feel good about it. And then on the customer end, to your point, like we can introduce our beers and hopefully get a bunch of people excited in a market that's well outside our own.
Yeah, which is best case scenario. I love it. I kind of almost feel like we skipped over talking about this beer, by the way.
Yeah, we kind of did,
because we kind of went right through. This is fire. It's such a fantastic body. Peacherine, Southern Cross Rawaka, and Maui Nelson Hopkeef. So it's sort of got all of the the Rawaka juice is always what I call it. Like it's got that kind of flavor profile. I feel like there's nothing like really dominating here. It's super balanced. It's big and fluffy. It's even, I think it almost speaks to how good the 6.5s are, because I feel like it doesn't feel like, it's definitely bigger, but it doesn't feel like
I was thinking the exact same thing. Like I was thinking like a bit bigger, yes, but if you didn't know, you could easily mistake it for a 6.5. Like it doesn't taste like it doesn't taste like it's definitely a double, you know?
Not at all. It's just so smooth, and it's like, you know, once again, this is like what, 3 weeks in. It was canned March 3rd, which was same as like Dead Sea,
and not a hint of alcohol heat to it. Like it just
Zero.
Drinks easy.
Yeah, it's just straight fluff, beautiful.
Yeah, there's something about the hop combo too that, like, it's not as, you know, punchy and assertive as some can be, but they just melded very nicely, and it's very easy to drink. It's just very pleasant, but it's not as punchy as some can be. So it's different than, you know, a lot of our double IPAs are in that respect. But I love this beer. I thought it came out really well.
It's really good.
Once again, this was a collab with Sir John, who are absolute fucking legends. So good, man. This is bang. You guys have worked with them a bunch, eh?
Yeah, we've done. I think we've done 2 or 3 there, and I think this is our second one we've done here.
Okay.
And every time we've done a collaboration, like we've made the trip both ways, so we've been able to hang out a ton with them. They're the best. Like they're
Are they cool?
fun people. Yeah, they're the best.
When they come down to you, is it usually Simon and Max, or does Joel come as well?
They brought, I want to say, 7 or 8 people this past trip.
Holy shit!
It's always a combination of Joel and Max, and then other Max, and then Simon, and they brought their chef this time as well.
Amazing.
Max brought a couple of his buddies.
Okay,
so I think there's like 7 of them this time, and yeah, they're wicked.
Fucking guys, they're so fun.
Yeah,
go on. Sorry.
Just like a teaser. So for the first time that we've done this, anyways, when they came down, they brought some of their barrel aged beer in kegs. We sent them packing with some of our barrel aged beer in kegs. So at some point in the near future, there'll be a Sir John Counterpart blend that we'll each have at our respective breweries.
Jesus Christ,
that's exciting.
Yeah, I haven't tried the beer yet that they brought down for us. I have full faith that it's going to be awesome because they rarely do anything but we haven't actually sat down, tried it yet, and then considered how that's going to work with what we have in barrels right now. But I'm stoked to take that on. It'll be fun.
Dude, I think those are the arguably some of the funnest collabs. Like I feel like I've seen it a few times, not like a ton, but a few times when people swap the barrel aged stuff. That's perfect. It's so cool. I think that's like particularly for you both, because I feel like you both have reputations for haze and for barrel aged stuff, particularly stouts, while all of your other stuff is on both sides are fucking exceptional. So that's really fun to see what you guys could do to see how that the barrel stock kind of blends together in on both sides. That's amazing.
Yeah, I feel like our barrel programs are quite a bit different too. So I think there's an opportunity to do something pretty cool there in terms of merging those two styles.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to kind of get into that.
Interesting. That's fun. The blending process, does it change when it's someone else's stock, or is it basically the same thing where you sort of like have it all and you do the little dropper thing? Because both Nate and I participated in that for our anniversary, where neither of us had done that before.
Okay.
To see how like Nate did it with Small Pony, I did it with Blood Brothers, and we're just like, all right, you got the fucking thing. They like showed me all the different barrels and like sort of empty silver bullets with no lid on them, and like, all right, these are the ones that kind of like what did they say? They said it was like the chickens are so funny. It's so funny.
I love that you can hear that.
I'm so glad that you can hear it.
Oh yeah, it's going to provide some delightful background audio for for those who are listening.
Peaceful.
It's very peaceful. I kind of feel like we're fucking up by not doing this every episode.
No, it's a really nice, peaceful ambiance. It's nice.
Yeah, we had ducks a few months ago.
Oh,
and
Jesus,
once these guys were born, I said to my wife, I'm like, I've missed having little birds in the house. Like, it's nice.
I'm gonna tell the Tiff, I'll be like, yo, let's get some fucking birds. It's just so nice. I have the alarm. Like, I don't really need alarms very much because I don't, I'm on my own schedule. But when I do, I've got this one that sort of like it eases it in, and it's kind of just like little bird sounds as opposed to like some bullshit to wake you up and you're just like shocked. So reminds me of that. It kind of sounds like the only time I hear those like tweeting type of things.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Maybe I just need real birds. I think it'd make it a lot easier. What were we saying about? Yeah, so like when like Blood Brothers were explaining, they were like, all right, we're going to put adjuncts in it. So these two particular barrels are a bit more leathery, tobacco-y. Like they're kind of a bit more bitter. So they will handle the adjuncts a little bit better, whereas these other ones are a little more fudgy and caramelly. They're going to be too sweet, and you're going to add all the stuff to that. And I was like, oh, okay, because my gut would have been like, yeah, I'm going towards the caramelly ones. That tastes way better. That's going to be sick. I'm like, well, not really. The other ones are going to work nicer with the adjuncts. I was like, oh, that's fascinating. And I think it was something similar with you, Nate, with Sean that you can recall. I know it was a year ago.
Yeah. I mean, it's going back a ways, but like it was just such an experience, kind of picking through the individual pieces that make up the whole stout that like just never had the experience of before. Like, you know, looking through what the base stout was, and then like thinking about what the components that you're adding are going to do, like what they're going to do to that, and what we ended up choosing was different than what I expected it to be, just because like certain things actually on their own are way more bitter than you might expect, than you might expect them to be just from your experience from an end result. It was a very educational experience.
I'm absolutely right there with you. Is that kind of what, like, that's pretty accurate from your perspective at all, Greg, or is that different?
Yeah, like generally speaking, we'll pull from 3 or 4 barrels at a time. I'll spend the most time on them individually and just kind of assess them on their own. And then at the end, I'll kind of willy-nilly do some blends on the fly, just based on what I think will work well, or what we do, depending on who I'm tasting with. It's usually John Ask, our brew team. And we'll each do like our own blends. Like I might try 2/3 of this and 1/3 of this, and we'll all kind of do our own thing, and then kind of report back what we're getting. And then we'll do it again in a couple weeks with more of a strategy in mind, with like, this is what we thought worked well on a rough ratio, and let's be a little more specific in terms of how we're going to blend these things. And yeah, ideal, like when you have everything, when everything you're trying is tasting great, it's really easy, because then by blending, you're really just adding layers and generally kind of making incremental improvements to things that are already great. But it gets trickier, more challenging when you have things that are imperfect in their own way, because then you really have to be specific in terms of how you're filling in the gaps from one to fill in another kind of thing. And the ratios need to be really dialed in. And ideally, you have things in your stock that can achieve that. That's not necessarily always the case. Yes, it's very much specific to, it's case by case on how those beers are tasting in terms of how we go about it. But blending it's an unbelievable tool to have at your disposal, and your ability to do it well is the ultimate separator in terms of how your beer is ultimately going to drink.
Shit, good fucking point, dude. Is there ever a point where you like, say you've got 1 or 2 barrels and you're like, you know what, if this had X flavor, component, texture, whatever it might be, that'd be sick, and then you're like, oh, maybe this other barrel could? Is that like a thing? Then you pull a nail and give it a test or anything? Like, for
sure, yeah, 100%. A lot of the time you've already tried something that, like, if as soon as we try something that's kind of lacking, then everything you try from that point on, you're searching for that missing piece. So you always have that in the back of your head, and as soon as you're like, oh shit, that would be the completing piece for this thing over here. So it depends on where, like, what order you try things in. Like right now we have probably half a dozen barrels that are all like at the maturation level where they should be, right where we'd want to release them, but they're all just lacking slightly in one way or another. So those are all kind of sitting on our back burner right now, and we're now trying through more stock and just trying to find the missing piece for that thing. And sometimes it's like an adjunct can be that missing piece. Like, for example, if it's just a little bit too dry, like you have the barrel character, you have like most of the components are there, then you can get some vanilla in there, get some coconut in there to really kind of complete that. Ideally, I like the base beer to be as close to perfect as it can be, and then I'm just using adjuncts to kind of enhance or augment it versus complete it. But these are all tools kind of at your disposal that if you're creative and kind of mindful, like the answer is usually available to you. You just have to be resourceful.
Damn, that's so cool. And on that, have you ever considered doing like a barley wine stout blend at all?
Yeah, we 100%. We will do it. Like the blends that we've played around with in the past, like we've never had the situation where it made either one better. We have tried lots of them, and I think I mentioned this on the last podcast. We've got a number of barrels going where we just kind of arbitrarily, based on like whenever we'll fill barrels, we'll usually always brew a little bit more beer than we have barrels for, because you don't want to half fill a barrel. So if we think we're going to get 6 barrels, we usually order 5 barrels and fill those 5 barrels and then keg off what we have left over.
Gotcha.
And then the next time we're bringing in barrels, we might order an extra barrel because we know we have all these kegs kind of set aside of Imperial Stout or Imperial Barley or of barley wine. And we've a few times now done like a 50-50 or 30-70 or whatever blend of barley wine and stout, and then co-aged it versus taking a barrel-aged stout and barley wine and blending it kind of
after the fact.
Yeah, more specifically. So we have a few of those on the go. Like none of them are kind of ready yet, but some of them are tasting really nice. So
we
whether
haven't released
we haven't released any, and so like say in that barrel it's 50-50, we can then blend it with another barrel of Imperial Stout and make it 25-75, or we can go in the other direction. But they're again just kind of pieces that we'll have available to us.
It's like there's no answer. It's just like whatever it works, and you guys are kind of like just really just maneuvering and testing until that jigsaw puzzle is kind of finished. But it's like you could go any way with it. That's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the only agenda you can really have is creating the best thing possible. Like you can't, like the breweries that'll have an annual release where they release the same beer, they'll have a stout release every 12 months, and they know before they've even brewed that thing it's going to spend 12 months in barrel. The odds of packaging that at its peak is so, like, everything matures at different rates. The barrel has so much impact. Like what season you get that into barrel matters a lot, because we're all largely dealing with non-temperature controlled warehouses. Like there's so many factors. Like you just have to let the beer guide the direction, and then you're just kind of the decision maker. You're just kind of shepherding it along, and ideally plucking it at the right time and blending it with the right components. And so you're kind of along for the ride to some degree. Like the beer ultimately has to guide the way.
Well said.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Should we take a quick break and then we'll come back?
Yeah, and when we come back, we'll crack the next one.
Let's go. All right, we'll be right back. We are back.
And we're back.
And if
we're ripping through them at good pace.
We're actually making pretty good time, I think. For this
I think so.
And we're just going straight balls to the wall. We did crispy.
We're not even halfway through the beers right now.
No, this probably takes us over the halfway line.
We're going to 5. Yep.
We're going to 5, and this is a triple IPA. So we did single, we did pale ale, we did single, we did double, and now we're doing triple. And this bad boy, this is Strange Beast. This is the collab with the Quebec City Lords at Nano Cinco.
Yeah.
Oof. And this is 10%, obviously, with Superdelic, Nelson Bliss, and Southern Cross. Oof. Every time I have, I got hold of some triple IPAs recently. I can't remember why. Someone sent them to me or something. Like, I don't drink them very often, as I guess both you know. But every time I have them, I'm like, fuck, these are good. They're the perfect, like, if you're only having 1, maybe 2 beers in a night, it's perfect. It's just like, it's such like a hop. It's so hop saturated and so intense.
Yeah.
It's my friend Fred, who we all know. Fred, who obviously hits you up, Greg, and gets all the bottles, and I get them for him sometimes as well. I think he said his girlfriend now only drinks triples or quads. IPAs. That's where they're at. I'm like,
and Fred already only drinks 8% or above.
Correct. And double, mostly double barrel. A single barrel barley wine. Are you kidding me? Come on now.
Who has time?
Who has time for single barrels? I mean, if it's not in 2 barrels at least, I'm not even talking to you.
Yeah.
So respect.
Triple IPA, it's kind of or quad IPA, it's kind of the equivalent of like the hoppy equivalent of like a barrel aged stout, like in that it's rich, it's creamy, it's sweet, it's super intense because of the high alcohol. Like as you're consuming it, you're having that alcohol impact your sensory experience too. And
oh goodness,
it's,
yes.
So it's and anytime you get into high alcohol like this, you're kind of planning your night around it to some degree too.
Not even some degree. Like I think if you're not planning your night around it, you're making a mistake.
Yeah.
You guys do triple, because I know we entertained it for our collab. Nate was more into it than you and I, Greg. So we settled on the double in the end. But these have like triple IPAs have like a really passionate fan base, eh? Would that be fair?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they
love them, just love them.
Yeah, because of again, like the way we release beer and the amount of it that we generally count on selling on tap. Mm-hmm. It's not always the best fit from that respect, because on draft, like you're just not going to get people having multiples. You're going to sell them in like a 5-ounce format more than anything else.
Right.
So it's been the one style that we've like actively kind of pushed into our rotation and kind of willed along, because we really like brewing them. I think we do them as well as anyone. There's a long period of time where we were generally brewing them kind of once a year for our anniversary.
Okay. It's
only like the last maybe year and a half where we're trying to brew them instead of once a year, 4 times a year, 5 times a year. And it's a bit of a, we were trying to kind of keep that momentum going on. And I think we've had like some really, really good ones that have been, pretty well regarded. And once you get the Quebec craft like market kind of interested, and then a certain amount of it's going that way. And now that we're doing like a little bit of exporting, and, you have in the European market is just nuts about high ABV stuff in general. So we're kind of building up those sales avenues to be able to do them more and more. Cause like I'm like you in that, like, I don't drink them a lot, but for hoppy beers, I think like if you do a triple IPA well, it's about as good as a hoppy beer. Like it's kind of, you can do some really special things in that category.
Yeah. I couldn't actually agree more. I think it's exactly it.
And I'm not generally that big on triples with a few exceptions. There's a short list of ones that I really, really love, but it's the one thing that it does have that a double IPA doesn't have. And like double IPAs usually peak for me, but the one thing that it doesn't have is that it definitely does take hop saturation to another level, to to a degree that you can't really get with with a double IPA in most cases.
Yeah, you have that sweetness in that body to not only support it, but really elevate, like, because when you think about drinking, like what you're trying to achieve is, like juice, basically, like when you're so to have that sweetness in that body to kind of work with, it gives you all the opportunity to be able to do just that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
I do think this beer, by the way, my opinion, is the best hoppy beer that we've done so far.
Period.
I'm thrilled with it.
Amazing. I love to hear that. Right now we're at 4.53 as the average rating of 140, which is pretty crazy. That's very high. This is it's intense, but it's so good.
It is intense, and yet again, even at 10% now, I'm still not feeling even a twinge of alcohol heat, which for a triple IPA is wild.
Yeah, it's walking that line with having enough sweetness that it really hides that alcohol and elevates, the hop character, but without going over the edge. Like similar to a barrel-aged stout. There's nothing worse than drinking one that's too sweet, in my opinion, in either category. But you can't go the other direction too far either. You really gotta walk that line.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
This one, to me, really comes out kind of like mango juice, forward is what I'm getting a lot of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super tropical. Just kind of that fruit nectar.
Yep.
Yeah. the mango juice is a great call out. It's like mango nectar, really.
Like even texturally, it kind of suggests that, right?
Yes,
big time.
Yeah, like the sweetness, like nectar is even more apt just because of the sweetness of it for sure.
Yeah, it's like, once again, if there's sometimes, I don't know if you guys have it. Like, it sounds like the three of us don't drink these a ton, but when you do, you really appreciate. Like, say if I've had to go to fucking Toronto or something, which is like, and I don't get back until like midnight, and I don't have a lot of time that I want to stay up for, but I want to have at least one or two beers. I could be like, well, you know what? I'll have this triple that'll satiate me. I don't really have to have any more than just the one, and I can enjoy it like in the same way as why I have the nights where I have just the stouts, like the big stouts and barley wines, because I don't have to worry about volume at all. And more times than often than not, and I imagine you guys are somewhat similar. It's kind of you want to have a few different things on an evening. You know, you want to have some crispies, some haze, maybe some Westies, a smoothie, or a low ABV stout or something. And I find that the triples scratch that itch incredibly.
Yeah, this is definitely the kind of beer that I would have on a night when I'm not having much else, or like
maybe one thing
or
beforehand.
like. Yeah, but it's definitely a closer. I'm not having anything else after this.
No, not at all. But it's so like, I just find that like when the I don't know, Fred got me this one from Messer, that Temporalis 50, the triple IPA. I was like, oh, do you want it? I got one for you. I'm like, fine, all right. And I had one of those nights where before I went to Australia, I think it was in January, and I went to, because I know it was like, you know, the bigger beer, they did a good job, and it was just, I had one of those nights where I had to go see the mother-in-law and family in Toronto and came back. I was like, you know what? I don't really have space for anything else. This would be great. And I got to sort of sit and enjoy. That's the last one I can remember sitting and enjoying the whole thing. I was like, damn, I get it. I get why people drink these a lot.
Yeah.
It just really comes down to sort of that bandwidth of what are you trying to do, or you got to put an evening aside. So I imagine with you guys, I know you both actually drink, I would say, more barrel-aged stouts than I do, because I have like one night a week when I do it. Do you guys have other things when you do your barrel-aged stout similar to something like this?
Greg, you answer first.
Yeah, I'm anyone who knows me well, like I'm a man of routine. So generally speaking, I've got like so I'm once a week too. Every single Sunday I have a barrel-aged stout or barley wine.
Okay.
I'm stoked for it all week. If I have to miss it because I'm away for the weekend or whatever, I'm distraught. I like having that Sunday night ritual.
Let's go.
And it's always like, we always have my parents over on Sunday. We'll watch a movie, and always without fail, I'll split 2 tall cans of double or triple IPA with my dad, who's a giant hophead. And then I'll move on to a barrel-aged stout, and then I'll grab him another can of IPA, double IPA, whatever. But we always split 2 cans of double or triple. So I'll always have personally a can of hoppy beer first, and then I'll have my barrel-aged stout, and that kind of sets the and that's over 3 hours probably to have a can of double or triple IPA, and then 375 or 500 ml stout.
Do you split the stout with your pops or just the haze?
No, he was getting into it for a little bit, which was like not ideal for me because
he's taking all your good shit.
Stouts are way harder to get, and more importantly, like the format of them, like I know kind of how much I want to consume on a night. Like 750 mils, and that's what I started splitting with them, are great because I can't drink those on my own. So I was like, sweet, like I don't mind splitting out one with you. But once I'm getting 375, I don't want to, because you need the whole bottle.
Yeah.
To be able to have the whole experience, because it starts at 4 degrees and warms up to 12, whatever. By the end of it, you're getting the whole kind of layering that goes on there.
Absolutely.
And it's not the same as splitting 2 stouts. Like I want that full experience with that. So I was already like, wheels were turning in my head. And if my dad keeps drinking these stouts, like how am I going to sustain this habit for him? Like maybe I'll go over the border, getting like, some KBS or something that'll probably satisfy him, but I don't have to split, my stuff with him. But fortunately, he decided somewhere that he was no longer as interested in them. So it naturally worked itself out.
But that's incredible.
There you go.
So then if you get those like killer, because I see you post some like really intense, some great, whether it's Escahad or Troon or things like that, like some triple IPAs, those are the ones, even not even local stuff, like things that you're getting in your trades and your travels or whatever, that's the ones that you're splitting with him?
Yeah. My wife
so he gets the fire.
Yeah, we joke around about that all the time. Like just the idea, like, because he's 71-year-old man and didn't really start drinking anything till pretty recently as a result of spending time with us. But he pretty much started into the craft beer scene, just into the beer scene, drinking really high-end, sought-after stuff. So he doesn't really know anything else. So it's interesting because like he's gotten, his palate's gotten pretty good. He can really distinguish good stuff from bad stuff. And when it comes to like he's usually drinking them, even if he knows the brewery, like it doesn't really mean anything to him. So like it's completely unbiased feedback that I get from, like, he'll try something that's as hyped as it can be, and he'll be like, like not for me. And he's usually got a pretty good beat on it. Like he's got a good sense for what he likes at this point. And I'll often slip our stuff in there and he has no clue what it is. And sometimes he's like, oh, this is lacking. And I'll be like, oh shit, that's one of ours. Or he'll be like, this is the best one of the night. And he just had a Treehouse and a Fidens, and now he thinks ours. So I use it like it's a bit of a barometer that I get to experiment with him on a weekly basis.
That's a pretty valuable test case to be able to have access to on a weekly basis.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Is he on Untapped? Should we follow him?
He's I don't think he's on Untapped. No.
He's Counterpart 5. Yeah, I'd be giving it all. Let's
share his Instagram at the end of the episode.
I think he does have Instagram. I'm not sure he's posted anything, but I think he does have an account.
He's on that. He's got some killer beers he's drinking.
Yeah, get him to start posting some beer reviews.
I think he could be one of the most senior beer influencers going. It's beautiful. But that's really cool, man, to be able to share that sort of stuff. And like also, I really align with that. I take the 750s to the face if I have to. I try not to, but like, what are you supposed to do? Like, if I got them shits, I don't want them to die. Now I'm starting to like get worried, because you always told me in the last couple of years that like keep them shits in the fridge, and I got a separate fridge for. I got 2 fridges down here, but they're not like full size, and there's not really enough space for all the stouts. I do what I can, but I'm trying to like punch through them and stuff, and it's like, a lot of the time, like when you go to the shares, like we had at Counterpart, and then the other night, the other one with the other boys, it was it's cool to get like 3 ounces of something, and you get like an idea of it, but like it's nice to have nothing else on an evening and really sit with that beer, and sort of really soak it up, and I sort of because it's not too much. Like 500 ml is kind of like is pretty good, and you can still have something beforehand if you've like eaten to make sure you get a little. I always have that after dinner, but it's interesting to hear that, because I guess I've said it a lot, but I didn't know that both of you guys do the same thing, where you would have like a warm up of something like this, and then you'd have like a big 16% or whatever the fuck, which is cool.
Yeah. And my routine is very similar to yours, Greg. It's a Sunday type thing, although it's like Sunday is big beer day for me, and it depends on the kind of day that we're having. If we're and my kids are quite young. Like my son is turning 4 next month, and my daughter is 8 months old. So my weekends are a bit chaotic. But if it's if it's a relaxed enough weekend where it's the kind of thing on a Sunday afternoon, if we're giving my son some screen time, like that's usually my window to crack open a big bottle. So around 4 o'clock is when is usually when I'm cracking open a bottle, that I actually have some time to and take a minute to appreciate it and whatnot. And I'll usually just kind of enjoy that one over a good hour and a half, 2 hours kind of thing. So again, I've got that's when I have the time to kind of appreciate the full breadth of the like of the beer from fridge temperature to like to room temperature. That's kind of the sweet spot for me. And I will usually have one or two more after that later in the evening after the kids are in bed. So I'm doing it a little bit in reverse order, but that's kind of but that's usually my formula. Yeah. Sometimes if for whatever reason the afternoon is a little bit more hectic, then I'll wait till after the kids are in bed and I'll just have the big beer in the evening. And if that's the case, then I usually won't be having one or two more. But Sunday is the day that I prioritize cracking one open, like from the bottle stash.
Yeah, I feel like you'll usually do like an outdoor picture.
That's my preference.
Yeah, and it looks like it's not nighttime. It's a mid-afternoon.
Yes. Yeah. That's why the Sunday afternoon is really my preference, because I like taking pictures outside and I want to have daylight for it. So, and as much as I fucking hate the spring time change, I do appreciate that the sun sets later. It makes it a little bit less stressful for me to be able to get that shot in the Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. I like to eliminate as many possibilities for my experience to be interrupted as possible. So the idea of doing it when the kids are awake, that'd be too high risk for my liking.
That's fair enough.
So you're
that's why it only happens if my son's watching something. If that doesn't happen, then I don't want it. Then I don't crack it open. It's just too chaotic.
For sure.
Can you guys explain that to a non-parent? Like, what is that? Just because they keep needing you, and then you just end up not touching it, just sits there for ages? Is that really what it is?
Well,
or is that a generic question?
What I'll tell you in my case is that my son's at an age of he's just very active, but he's very, very active, but it's the kind of thing that he is not at an age where he has the attention span to immerse himself in an activity on his own for very long.
Okay.
So he needs active attention pretty constantly. So, and I don't want to be leaving that on knowing me for too long, especially when we've also got an 8-month-old right now. So it's a thing of, unless my son is really immersed in something, which if we're letting him watch a show, which we don't do a ton of, there's a dedicated time only on weekends. If he's watching a show for a little bit, that's a window for me to be able to take to go outside, take a nice shot, take some notes, do all the things. But if we've got any other afternoon activity going on, it's just
about take notes.
It's just too much. There's kind of too many there's too many kids that need attention at one time, and it's kind of shitty of me if I'm going to be okay, I'm going to go take a beer picture now, while everyone else is needing attention. He's just not at the right age for it.
Okay. Interesting. Is that the same type of thing, Greg, or is it just more like you just really want complete alone time, so it's just easier? Because I know your kids are a bit older than Nate's.
Yeah, for me, beer kind of represent, whether it's barrel aged stout or anything. I generally, beer kind of is a demarcation point for me between before beer. I've got responsibilities. After beer, I don't. That's kind of so that's usually the only time. It doesn't need to be a lot of beer. It's just that symbolically, that's what that means to me. I have my first sip of a 4% beer, and I'm that's when I'm done working for the day. Not to say being with your kids is work, but it obviously is to some degree.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's absolutely work.
Yes. Yeah,
I don't think that's a disrespect to the child. I think even all three of us looking back on ourselves as children,
for sure,
our parents, that shit is
just
fucking work.
Just in terms of the you obviously appreciate so much of it, but just in terms of what it requires from you, it's absolutely work.
Yeah, and it also I will have, of course, the afternoon drink from time to time, but I'm not really. I generally save my drinking for those times. Kids are in bed. I don't have anything demanding from a brewery perspective. I want beer to be really just as joyful of experience, or wine or whatever. That's kind of what I look to alcohol for in my life. It's for when I've earned it. I don't have anything that's really that's going to be stressing me out in that moment. I try to make it as an enjoyable of a process. So like from, lack of responsibilities to the company I'm hanging out with to what I'm doing, I try to cater that to being just like a relaxing, pleasant experience. And that's kind of the role alcohol plays in my life. And it's a really nice kind of balance to everything else I've going on.
I like that.
Thank you guys for the perspective. I think it's fascinating because I don't really get it. Like I know sometimes I'll be to Nate, but like very like ignorant statements as far as like, so what? Just fucking like, I don't know, just do the thing. And he's just like, dude, it doesn't work like that. I'm like, I don't know. I've got a dog. I don't know, bro. Like,
Yeah.
My dog does what I say. But I just don't have any context. So
For sure.
It's really fascinating. The one thing, I don't know if we need to go to the next one. Am I late? Are we good?
We probably should keep it moving.
Okay. We'll go to the next one, and then I want to talk about cold plunging really quickly because we'll talk about that off air. And Greg is a cold plunge lord, and I want to just really just briefly touch on it because I think it's pretty cool.
By the way, I'm glad I still have another can of this to get into when we're not on a pod because this is fucking delicious.
Insane, absolutely bonkers.
Awesome.
I can see why you feel that that's one of the best hoppy beers. It's just, man,
it's straight mango juice.
It's incredible, and it's the shit like that makes me feel like I need to sort of figure out how to make more room in my life for triple IPAs, like I have with barrel aged beers and the larger stouts and barley wines. Like, I need to figure out what that looks like to be able to get more of these in, because when something like this comes up, it's such a treat. It's just so impeccable. Thank you, man. This is killer. And Nano.
Real quick. Yeah, it is Nano Cinco. So they're awesome. If you never had any of their stuff, which I know you guys have, they're in Quebec City. They just had their 3rd anniversary. I want to say that
sounds right.
We drove down there in October, November, and brewed an Imperial Stout with them.
Nice.
Some of which they released, like they adjuncted and released fresh, a portion of which went into barrel. So that was kind of the project we worked on there. They did, like, I'll keep this quick just because we're moving on, but they did something kind of interesting because in our approach to stout has always been, if we're brewing it to be adjuncted and released fresh, the beer is very different than if we're brewing it to go into barrel. It's constructed very differently. So when we talked to them about the idea of releasing part of it fresh, part of it going to barrel, we kind of voiced our concerns about that in terms of like how we construct things, how we approach things. And their answer to that, like how they brewed an Imperial Stout kind of based on both of our kind of combining our 2 recipes. They split it into 2 different fermenters, and they fermented one with a higher attenuating yeast for a drier final product that they were going to adjunct and release fresh, or fermented the other half with a lower attenuating yeast that they intended to go into barrels. So we've never done something like that, but I like, in theory, like it addresses some of the kind of concerns in terms of brewing something that's going to be ideal to be consumed fresh and X many years from now. So I'm really interested to see kind of how that goes as a cool little project to work on.
That is really dope.
Yeah,
I guess sort of based on what we were talking about before, as like Nate and I doing the blends for the collabs, and you're seeing the different types of even just base beers for the ones that maybe work by itself and ones that work with adjuncts. So then and I think that's even a greater point where there's some stuff that like, this is going to come straight out of the fermenter and into cans, and then go into barrels, and it would inherently be a different product. So it is cool that they were thoughtful, and were they doing it anyway, or they did it because you guys brought it up as far as change the yeast?
Yeah, no, when we talked about the idea of like maybe we do something where a portion of it goes into barrel, we kind of talk about why we don't do it that way, and they had the idea of like, well, what if we do this? Like, what if we do 2 different ferments? And I think there's still
that's cool.
Some things that it won't necessarily cover, but it's a good kind of middle ground, and especially if you're not doing a really extended barrel aging, like our stout is usually designed for extended barrel time, and when you drink it fresh, it's very unpleasant. It's extremely sweet. It's extremely bitter. It's designed for a lot of time to kind of round out.
Right.
So as long as you adjust the barrel side of things accordingly, yeah, I mean, it could be really cool. I'm interested to see how it comes out. I haven't tried as much of their barrel aged stuff either, so I'm a little bit less familiar with kind of what their approach is to barrel aging. I have a number of their bottles, but I haven't gotten into them yet. So yeah, I don't know their barrel program well enough to really know their kind of approach to it.
Understood. Nate, we got that one bottle from them. Was that barrel aged? Do you remember, or was that? I don't think it was.
I've had a couple of bottles for them. It was probably barrel aged. It was definitely very adjunct laden. I remember that too. Yeah. So I guess I didn't have a ton of experience with the barrel aged stuff. I just know they're haze. Yeah. We've kind of just got the one or two bottles that we've had from them.
Yeah, it's a little tough.
And that was from a couple of years ago.
It was.
Yeah. Being a 3-year-old brewery too, given that
they got to figure it out.
Well, yeah, a lot of these things too, like you need 2 years to release the thing. So even you've only been around for 3 years, it limits how many beers you could have possibly. Like for us, when we were 3 years old, we had released maybe one barrel aged stout at that time. So
and the change is quick, I guess. Like it's like
once you have
a pot, like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, once you have the stock, then you can be releasing stuff all the time. But at the beginning, you're just filling barrels. You're not releasing really anything.
Right. And it's just a matter of waiting. I love it. That's sick. So we have two different. Speaking of imperial stouts that are meant to be drank immediately, we have two different ones that we're about to hit on right now. Which one should we go first?
I'd go red. Macadamia nut. Yep,
love it.
That was very decisive. I like it.
Greg already knew what was happening here. Now this little gem. So this is 11.9% with Brasserie du Bas-Canada. Out of Gatineau, Quebec.
Both of these Empire cans are with Brasserie du Bas-Canada.
Oh no shit! I actually should have probably checked that. Love it. Here for it. Now, this first one, as Greg said, macadamia nut. So it's imperial stout with toasted macadamia nuts, raw coconut, toasted coconut, and Madagascar vanilla beans at 11.9%.
Yeah. Now, I forget what the name of it was, but there was another stout similar to this that you did with last year's anniversary, and like similarly, it was a collab with the same brewery. Can you? It was with last year's with last year's anniversary. There was two similar ones, so it must have been one of the New York ones, right?
Yes, is Mortalis last year.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
The year before would have been
before.
My bad.
We did. We've done a number of them though, like where we brew an imperial stout, split it, and adjunct a number of ways. Like we did one with Barncat back in the day. We've done one with Rorschach.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally every anniversary we do this. It'll be a collab imperial stout with two variants, two different adjunct treatments.
I love that.
The brewski one I was thinking of, was that the one with the gorillas on it? Like there was a banana something one.
Yeah, it's cocoa. Yep.
There you go. Okay.
But yeah, so this one we brewed one batch of imperial stout. The entire batch was dosed with house toasted coconut, raw coconut, and Madagascar vanilla beans, and then we split it and then did half of it on house toasted macadamia nuts, and then the other half on house toasted hazelnuts with espresso coffee as well. So all of it has coconut and vanilla, and then two different kind of nut treatments, one with coffee, one without.
That is insane. This smells like some sort of familiar chocolate bar that I can't put my finger on. And I think it's a toasted coconut.
Well, when you try the next one, I would actually recommend with this one before we finish to crack the second one, and you can do a bit of a side-by-side.
Great idea.
Because it's really cool to see the impact that the nuts had on it. Like it's
pause. Yeah.
They're quite different beers.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, macadamia versus hazelnut, but they both have raw coconut and toasted coconut.
Yeah, so we did like a 30-70 split or so of toasted to raw, which is just a really nice ratio.
Okay.
With all these adjunct stouts, they're one of the reasons we don't do them that often. Like they're so incredibly onerous from a just like the processing the raw materials. Like so with the coconut, I think we had, I don't know, 300 pounds or so of coconut, and we toasted a third of that. So you can imagine, 100 pounds of coconut or 90 pounds of coconut, whatever, how much volume that is. So we're doing it tray by tray we did it at Counterpie in the pizza oven on these, big industrial trays. And Joe will usually, who's my business partner, our head chef, he'll usually take that on, and it'll take him a day or like a good portion of the day if he's just toasting coconut all day long. So we started with that for the whole thing. And then we did macadamia nuts. So same deal. It was, I want to say 150 pounds of macadamia nuts, and the nuts and coconut, they're both like super temperamental. So you need to be on it in terms of like, you want to get them toasted. You want to get those oils to the surface and those aromatics. Then you got to quickly get them into bags and then into the beer once they've kind of cooled down enough to do so. But it's this huge time commitment, and it ties up the kitchen. It ties up the brew production. It's all hands on deck for that. It's really fun and collaborative. And I think Joe and the kitchen team, like, it's fun for them to kind of get involved too. It's the one situation where we're all kind of contributing towards this one thing. And it's really neat too. Like when you get it into the beer, like within hours, it's transforming it, and you're trying it and kind of seeing how it's impacting. But yeah, they're a lot of fun, but they're a lot of.
Greg first. That Niagara incident.
No, he was getting into saying it was a lot of work.
He was. He'll be back. I believe in him. This is intense. This is so fucking good. And now I'm pissed I didn't get extra cans like you did.
Yep. You're a fucking idiot.
I'm a dildo. I'm going to put saran wrap on these and try and keep these for big beer.
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah,
might as well.
I reckon I can make it work though. It's only Thursday, so I think I can.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you can. And I mean, you know what? Like, even if they get they go like a little bit flat, like they're probably not going to be bad.
Nah, then if you kind of give it a little bit of like fucking boom, like an invigorated pour. I've done shit like that before, and I've seen these things where you can have these like rubber caps for a oh, is that my internet? It's excellent. Look. Yeah, I think so. Looks like the coal dropped. Can you jump back in? Give it a crack. Okay. Damn, it's a shame he dropped out because that separates the audio.
Yeah.
And the video. Actually, no, the video is not so bad because I take the audio. Either way, this is fucking crazy, dude. This is so like.
No, this is nuts. I was honestly wondering what I was going to think about this one, because as you and I have talked about just on the side before, I'm not the biggest fan of nuts for the most part.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Big old pause. But like most nuts, I'm really not a fan of.
That's not what I had.
But yeah, fair enough.
Sorry.
But like, despite the fact that this has toasted macadamia nuts in it, like hazelnuts I'm actually usually fine with, but this has toasted macadamia nuts in it, and like that would you fall into the category that I'm not really into. But like, it does not come through too strong. I would not describe it as a prominent flavor in this, and I actually really fucking love this. Like, this is really dope.
Yeah,
this is like the nose is.
Oh my god,
the nose is rich and decadent, and like I'm not finding it too nutty to be to be off-putting. I'm really fucking enjoying this, and I'm really glad I have another can of it.
Absolutely jealous. I might have to do the same thing. One of the tasting notes on the here he is on the what's it called? Untapped here is coconut macaroons. Gregory.
Yeah. The coconut is definitely way more prominent than any of the nuts, for sure.
Big time. You good? You're good, brother. We just gushing over the beer.
Awesome.
You on the hotspot? She's good?
Yeah, I'm connecting with my phone right now. I don't know. My internet still looks like it's working, but yeah, I can try switching over maybe during the next break. Hopefully my phone will carry us through here.
I think it should be okay. Everything looks great though. So you're doing all right. We were just saying that one of the tasting notes on the Untapped is the coconut macaroons. And I'm like, that's exactly what this is reminding me of. It's that beautiful, rich coconut chocolate.
Yeah.
I mean, coconut macaroons aren't always chocolate, actually, but still, like that kind of it's that toastiness that's standing out. And as you said, Nate, the coconut is elevating above the macadamias a little bit.
Big time. I'm not finding the macadamia all that prominent, and that's a positive for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I literally just had some macadamia nuts right before jumping on the pod. So I can detect it, but it is very subtle in comparison to, say, like the coconut.
And I appreciate that. Like, I'm glad that the coconut is coming through more, and that the base stout is shining. And Greg, like I was saying, like I'm not the biggest fan of nuts for the most part, but so I was wondering how I was going to find this one with macadamia nut being one of the things here, but like I'm fucking loving this, and I'm really, really glad I have another can of it.
Can you hear us, Gregory? Okay, he's going to try to reset. No problem. Good call. He's going to reset. Said we're really choppy. I think he's also choppy. Yeah, dude, I fucking love this. This is fantastic.
This is spectacular.
And I remember the cocoa one, which was the gorilla one, which I think was it was 2 years ago, not last year. Yeah. Last year was Mortalis. What was the one last year with Mortalis? Do you recall?
I forget what they were, and this was what I was wondering. I was racking my brain over, but both of them last year were really, really good.
So good. Oh my gosh. I'm just kind of scrolling down.
I feel like one of them had like dried berries in it. Maybe I'm I might be confusing that with something.
Flowfest. So it wouldn't be much before. I'm at Flowfest already, so I'm almost there. Money Talks. Hey. Okay. Hang on. Here we go. Arabella Park. Shout out Arabella. Here we go. All right. Coniferous. That was the anniversary, was it not? Anniversary. Okay. It was Beasts and Gods, bro.
Oh, yes. That's the one. Yes. Fuck.
Fucking shit a brick. That was
what a great name.
Banger, was it not? So one of them was espresso roast coffee, roasted almonds, marshmallow, and Madagascar vanilla beans. And then the other one was a blueberry granola.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah,
so that's exactly what you said. Dried blueberries, raw coconut, toasted coconut, maple granola, Ceylon cinnamon, Ugandan vanilla beans.
That's the shit right there.
Fuck, that one slap, dude. Jesus Lord. Yeah, fuck yeah. That's just so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. So just while we're just kind of yapping while Greg gets back on, while we're talking about triple IPAs.
Yes.
Last year they had a fucking banger of a triple IPA in the anniversary releases, and that was one of the collabs with Eskerhart. It was called Super Borealis with Rawaka, Nelson, Rakau, and Motueka. And I remember fucking loving that one.
Super Borealis. Let me double check that one. And that was during not the anniversary.
That was last year's anniversary.
Oh, hang on, I have that up right here. Oh, Super Borealis. You know what? Here it is. This was okay. I remember getting. I didn't try it. You got it?
Yes, I had it and I fucking loved it.
Okay, I remember the gentleman who was.
You might have passed on it because it was a triple.
But Greg tried to give me low fills because I got coniferous for me, you, and Fred. Yeah. And he put a box aside that had low fills.
Okay.
And the gentleman behind the bar grabbed the wrong box, and it did not have the low fills in it, so I didn't get to try it. Because Greg knows I wasn't going to buy it, just because it's typically not my jam.
Because you're weak ass.
Yeah, and I'm a pussy hole and a shit C word and just basically basic.
But we got off topic. Well, while we're talking about Empire here, the closest comparison is that Beast of Gods.
Beast of Gods, yes.
Like that one that they had in that blueberry edition. Like both of them were fucking amazing.
Yeah, they were really fantastic, and I'm glad. I'm pretty sure I got the cocoa the year before as well, but like I liked it. These for a brewery that's sort of known mostly for the haze and for the barrel aged stuff, it's really cool to have these fun adjuncted stouts that are still 11.9%, but they're not overly sickly sweet or intense. And like, you know, like if you look at the ingredients in this, you know, hazelnuts, coffee. Oh, so this is the next one we're about to do. I just pulled it up. You know, raw coconut, toasted coconut, Madagascar vanilla beans. Like, there's a lot of things that could potentially make a beer like this be a little bit too sweet. Mm-hmm. This is fantastic. I can't get over the macaroon nose though. Like that toasted coconut nose. Well,
the coconut is really comes through so strong. But man, like hearing Greg just now talk about kind of the key to the balance between sweetness and dryness. Like obviously too much sweetness is can be really off-putting because it can be like really cloying and and just kind of taste heavy and sticky and really gets to be too much. But Greg brought up such a good point that I've not really thought too much about is the fact that like even too much dryness is really off-putting too. It just really it's such a fine art to like balance that out with big stouts like this. Yeah. And like particularly when you've got so many adjuncts, it adds so many more variables to it that you really need to balance here. That like, god damn, they do this shit well.
It's insane how well they do it, all these different styles. Like as we're continuing through we've still got smoothies to go after we've done these stouts. And they're just so fucking exceptional. Absolutely bonkers. And we haven't even, we've talked about the barrel stuff for a bit. We need to definitely show what they dropped for the last anniversary, which we'll do shortly. But you know, I'm just looking at these the kill shot here, the empty cans from the lagers, which are always, I feel like Counterpart definitely are underrated for their lager program. Particularly their Brew John is obsessive.
And it's the kind of thing too of like they're so fucking good. I wish they brewed them more.
Couldn't agree more. And I guess they're doing what they can with their space because they got to keep
and you know what, fair enough, because it obviously takes up a lot of tank space and they've got a lot of beers to put out. I understand it, but it's just one of those things of like they're so fucking good at it that I would love to have as many of them as possible.
Couldn't agree more.
So it's a case of when they put out that like winds of change every year. Like I'm so fucking stoked for it.
Amped for that, and even from that first pod we did, and we had these circles, the Kolsch.
Oh,
and you and I talk about that Kolsch.
Every fucking time that beer comes out, I'm like 4-pack, 6-pack, like as many of them as I feel like I can reasonably squeeze into an order. It's so fucking good. I love that beer so much.
And imagine, almost feel like the coolest part of that is that it's a Kolsch and not, which is an ale and not a lager technically, but it's just so well done and so well executed.
Oh my god,
it's got to be one of the best Kolsch's we've had. It's
for
crazy.
For sure.
And you know, to go from all of these haze, you know, from pale ale through to triple IPA, and then now onto these big ass stouts. That's
I cannot think of a single other Canadian-made Kolsch that I'm as excited about as that one.
Or American, or anywhere else that's maybe not German. It's pretty
sick. When I said Canadian, what I basically meant was not German.
Not German, exactly right.
You knew what I meant.
I knew exactly what you meant. And it's something, once again, that was really impactful on you and I from when we first sort of had Greg on the pod, which would have been 23, 22? Hold up. If 26 was their 7th, 25th was their 6th, 24 was their 5th. So it would have been 23 was their 4th, I think.
So 24 Halloween was when we had Greg on last. So it must have been
23.
March 23 that we had them on the first time.
Yeah, so around
so I think
this,
that's right.
Because
that's right.
Perfect. So that would have been 3 years ago, which we timed it for the anniversary. Unintentionally, I think, because back then
I don't think we timed it intentionally for that, and none of the beers that we had at that time were anniversary beers.
Oh, here he is right now.
It must have been February.
I think it would have been February. Oh, we didn't have anniversary beers on there?
No, I'm pretty sure we didn't.
Okay, good memory. Gregory.
Is it? I'm still on my hot spot here, so I can't tell if I have a firm connection, but
it's all good. It's a little. Yeah, we can hear you, but it's a little.
It's a tad choppy.
It's a tad choppy.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, my internet's. I can hear you perfectly. Yeah.
Okay, good. You're good enough to make this work, as long as you can hear us clearly. And do
you want me to try to do a longer reset and see? My internet has been reset. It's still, for whatever reason, not working. So I'm now on my my hotspot here.
Okay. If you feel like Nate and I are really talking through this beer and gushing over it, and so we can make time, or we can even pause for a second if you want to try and sort it out. Maybe we take a quick pause, and then do you want to do another reset? We'll take a pause and then we'll go.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right, we'll pause for a sec, and we'll figure it out. We'll be right back. And we are back, and we have Uncle Gregory back in the building. Again. And so as we were just whilst you were, of course we get started.
Oh God!
Oh no, we're good. Okay,
we're good.
You froze for a sec. We're like, oh no. It's all good. We were gassing up Empire here, so we grabbed the next can, as you suggested earlier. We should do these side by side so we can really taste the difference between the two variants. So. The first one was the Macadamia Nut, and now this one is the Hazelnut Coffee version, which is this sexy little beast right here that Nathaniel and I are going to let y'all see.
Yeah.
And we were talking before, Greg. We looked it up, and it was the Beast. Oh, what was it called, Nate?
Beasts and Gods.
Beasts and Gods with Mortals. Yeah, we're just looking that up from last year, and I was like, oh, I remember those. They were so good.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
So this one, it's still quite nutty. It's got a very similar nose. I guess it's that coconut. I really think that coconut is shining, and that'll probably change a little bit throughout the aging process. Oh my gosh, look at that head. So the second one, once again, is house toasted hazelnuts, espresso coffee beans, raw coconut, toasted coconut, Madagascar vanilla, in collaboration with Bas-Canada, which is sick. Anything else we need to know about this one, Greg? Can you hear me, sir?
Boy.
Damn. Niagara Falls internet. Do you know what's funny? The Australian internet. Fuck, that sucked dick. Oh my God.
Did it really?
Horrible. My mom's house? Jesus Christ. And we were even at a mall. I was trying to buy pet toys for Barrington.
Yeah.
And we're at a pet store, and he's like, oh, sorry, man, internet's real slow. I'm like,
shit.
What is happening? He's like, dude, everything's fucked.
It's one of those things of like when you're used to internet just working completely seamlessly, even the slightest slowdown would be like, what is this? The fucking Middle Ages?
Yeah, I know. It's so funny how annoyed you get so quickly.
Yeah.
And it was just Australian internet was just the whole time. It probably mom had the modem at home. So if I was uploading the video to Spotify, because when it goes on Spotify, it's audio, and I have to go and upload, I have to make a version. I don't know if I ever told you, but I have to make a Spotify version of the video in a different format. So I have to export it for YouTube, and then export it to Spotify, and then I put it on Spotify. And it's just a fucking it was just a nightmare. So it would take hours and hours. Greg, we got you back. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, still just trying to play around my computer at the same time.
Yeah, there we go.
I can hear you if you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we good?
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay. I just saw your text. Yeah, I know. It's like this is crazy. It's just like, of course, it's right in the middle of a podcast when all the internet has to go out.
Yeah. Go figure.
Yeah.
We good? Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys can, I can hear you totally, but I can't tell when you guys can hear me or not. So.
Okay. We can definitely hear you.
Hopeful that my computer's gonna. I'm hopeful that my computer's gonna connect back up here. But in the meantime, yeah, if you can hear me, let's
keep it moving. Here. Okay, beautiful. So we just cracked the second Empire.
The hazelnut coffee.
The hazelnut coffee. So the nose is
I find it to be the richer of the two. Didn't really expect that because of I thought the coffee would, add that bitter roasty element, and macadamia nuts are really buttery and rich, but I do find it to be the richer, sweeter of the two.
I think you're right. The nose is so similar. It's that toasted coconut macaroon nose, which is exceptional. That's the one dominating. This one with the hazelnuts and the coffee, I feel like it's like the coconut is dominating so hard, which is actually interesting, is it not? Like the coconut is coming. Am I tripping out that it's the coconut? Am I accurate there?
Yeah, I'm not like nuts are the most fleeting adjunct by a mile that I think there is, but definitely that we've worked with. So you can already this is now 3 weeks or so since we released it. The nut character is already fading a little bit, and the coconut holds on really well, as does vanilla. So it's definitely starting to be a little bit of a leapfrog situation in terms of which the predominant flavor is.
Right. Okay.
Interesting.
That makes sense. But it's they're very similar. But you are right. I would probably be confident to say that this one is a little more intense. Or what did you say they were? The second one was more
I thought it was just the more like decadent, kind of rich of the two, which is why
I would say
so. Advise kind of doing it second of the two.
Yeah. The red one, the macadamia nut, is I think on the drier side. And
that's so different.
Yeah, it's really different.
It tastes like fucking straight macadamia nuts, and this tastes like kind of like coffee coconut.
The macadamia nut is definitely on the drier side, and the hazelnut coffee is a lot more on the smoother, richer side for sure.
Yeah,
I'm actually really surprising myself here. I actually think I prefer the macadamia nut one, and I was I was certain I was going to prefer the coffee hazelnut one more. They're both fantastic, but I'm really, really surprised by how much I'm really loving the macadamia nut one.
Yeah,
I think the macadamia one is a little bit more unique out of the two.
Mm-hmm.
I probably prefer the hazelnut coffee just from I find it very comforting and kind of it has those more familiar kind of dessert notes to it. But macadamia nut is just a very distinct flavor. And in my experience, it's a really hard one to capture, and I feel like it's kind of at the forefront, and it's just really unique. And even as we were trying, when we were toasting the nuts, we were trying them. And I don't know how recently you've tried a macadamia nut, but they're kind of
right before
bland when you're trying them. We're putting all this effort into it, and it doesn't taste like the nuts themselves don't taste like that much. So we're a little bit bummed out when we're doing it, and weren't sure how much of that flavor would actually translate into the beer. And then 48 hours later, the macadamia nut was far and away, imparting more character to the beer than the hazelnut was. So it was really, really kind of an interesting little experiment.
Yeah, this is super, super interesting to have right beside each other. And because this is the kind of thing that I would never have, like outside of the context of a podcast, I would never have these two at the same time. So this is super, super interesting to have them really side by side.
Very much agreed. And yeah, we literally bought macadamia, almonds, and cashews the other day. So I was just like, when I had some dinner, I had a bit of a day, so I had like a very, very late breakfast. And then when I had to have dinner, it wasn't that long after breakfast. I'm like, fuck, okay.
Which, and just to add some context here, a late breakfast for you, that was what, like 5 p.m.?
Yeah, between 5 and 5:30. I've been still jet lagged just to be, I know I'm a late guy, but the jet lag has been so bad, dude. I keep waking up at like, say last night I had a pod, went to bed about 4 and I woke up at like 8. So, and then I'm like, don't go back to sleep until like 10:30. So then you end up waking up in this like mess at like noon or whatever. And then I had a bunch of colds and things. And yeah, so by the time I got to actually have breakfast, it was that. So then it was like an hour and a half later and I'm having dinner. And then I had a little bit left over from last night because I also had a podcast and I had a late dinner, a late breakfast for a late dinner, and I couldn't eat all my dinner. So I had whatever was left. And I'm like, oh, that wasn't really enough. So then I had some nuts and seeds, which we've been buying more of. And I had some macadamia nuts, which are big and fatty and they're a bit more intense. And I love them. And it works so well in the beer. Like, I really feel like the macadamia works absolutely spectacular. Here, the hazelnuts in the second one, though, are much more subtle in comparison.
Yeah, it's true. This one does not taste as nutty as the first one.
No, not at all. And obviously, Greg has dropped out there. Yeah, you want to...
Man, this is so interesting trying these two side by side.
Right?
I'm really glad we did this.
Yeah, this is actually really sick. As much as I'm gonna put, I think I was saying to you guys earlier, I'm gonna put some like saran wrap or something to try and keep these like cans good for the next couple of days. But because these are too good to waste, these are like absolutely phenomenal.
I agree.
And just the nose on both of them is like, it's the macadamia is way nuttier. Like,
yeah, big time.
But the coconut is extraordinarily present in both.
Mm-hmm. It's the prominent flavor on both for sure. Fuck. The vanilla too comes through really, really strong in the coffee hazelnut one.
Damn, that's just like macadamia juice. Fucking hell. And you're 100% right. The the vanilla is definitely stronger in this one. The coffee isn't particularly punchy.
No, it's not. It's one of those things that if you didn't know there was coffee in it, you might not even detect it.
Yeah, I had another stat the other day. It was the Vanquish. The Vanquish with like
the Adjunct Vanquish.
Yeah, the Adjunct Vanquish. So I was saying, did we say it's on air or off air? I can't remember, but I've been trying to catch up with the all the Counterpart barrel age stuff so I can get, because you know, we were just talking that the Flow Fest, which was July last year, was the double barrel circle. Double Barrel Vanquish came out at Halloween, and then we had a couple of other barrel age stuff, which I should go grab in a sec, come out for the anniversary. And I've been trying to just catch up. It's just I'm a little, I don't know, behind, but I'm just trying to maximize, like you and I have been talking about certain beers we have. Like, for example, there's a Badlands coffee stout that has a lot of adjuncts. And, you know, we want to kind of catch them as much as you can. And
catch them while they're in their prime.
Yeah, and I appreciate your heads up on that. So I put that immediately in the fridge. So I'm going to get to that very soon. But I'm just really trying to get on top of the Counterpart stuff because I know there's all the double barrel ones out. And then I guess I forgot that the Vanquish, for example, had all the, you know, they usually do one version straight up and down barrel and one version barrel plus adjuncts. And, you know, the coffee had kind of dipped at this point. This might have been a year and a half. It was 2024 Halloween, so I guess about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And, like, it was so good. It was just like those adjuncts had dipped, and they have a very short lifespan. So it's really hard to kind of juggle the cellar to be able to, like, prioritize anything with, you know, nuts or coffee, I guess, is probably the main thing that you want to kind of, like, push forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Greg's like, I could try hotspot again, but I don't want to be disrupted, popping in and out. Want me to try one more time? Yeah, let's do it. Wi-Fi seems to be a no-go, and I have 2 bars in my house on my phone. So, worst case, we bring it to a close a little bit earlier, and we don't get to the smoothies, just because if Greg's Wi-Fi is fucked, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
But we got a decent amount in before the fuckery, which
we did.
happens. We can see if there's anything else, if he's able to just like touch on. And look, yeah, if we don't get to the smoothies, that's totally fine. We did everything else, and this is.
I think we did the really important ones.
Yeah, the smoothies are something that I feel like they're really known for. I love their zombie smoothie series. Like, I know that you're probably not. Is it fair to say you're not as much of a smoothie guy as myself? But,
I'm not as like I really enjoy them. I'm not quite as enthusiastic about the style as you are, but I do fucking love them. And every time that Counterpart has done them, they've been fucking spectacular. So
Truly.
I'm not gonna front on them by any means.
Big time. And particularly with the zombie party ones for the anniversaries and stuff. Like I had the yellow. There's a yellow and a blue one. I had the yellow one, which was I can just fucking tell you. The yellow one was with Sir John and Bas-Canada, and it had mango, banana, tangerine, pineapple, marshmallow, and coconut, which is just such a sick fucking lineup. Absolutely spectacular. This one was bonkers, and I didn't get around to trying the other one because I did buy extras because I'm a smoothie guy. Other zombie party was this bad boy with Nano Cinco and Jackalhop, which is even cool. Actually, I didn't realize that there were different people. And this
I
one
didn't
is,
actually either.
Yeah, which is so cool. This one's got blueberry, banana, graham cracker, vanilla soft serve, ice cream at 5%.
Man, shouts to Jackalhop. I'm glad to see them kind of like having a bit of a farther reach.
I agree, and I was
that's really cool.
And one of the cool things about that is that I believe, like, I've spoken to Max many times on Facebook, but from what I understand, the whole team's English is almost non-existent, like in person. So he can speak it there. But the fact that they still made it out here, they were able to coordinate collaborations, I think is sick, man. I think it's like really, really cool.
Yeah, I love to see that.
Yeah, I was very happy to see, coming off the Czech Amber, which is super fire. I see Greg's.
Oh my god, that beer is fucking fantastic.
How good is it, man? I had that on tap when we both Tiff and I had that on tap when we had that and then Dead Sea too, and it was just, oh man.
And that was like, this might seem like such an unimportant detail to focus on, but as we were pouring that one, that like the folklore, as it like that Amber Lager as we're pouring in, like my god, like this is mesmerizing how fucking beautiful this is as it pours.
It's doing that cascade thing.
Yeah. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Greg, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Yeah.
Amazing. You look
okay. Good.
This is great. Let's keep this pushing.
Yeah, I'm defeated, so hopefully this this one sticks
works
here.
Yeah, hopefully we're good. But we were just gassing up the whole lineup, and we were just talking about the smoothies, just in case the call didn't stick and we weren't able to get to them.
Yeah.
But and we were talking about Jackalhop and how it was pretty sick that you were able to do the smoothie with them, and then also the Czech Amber, which is super dope. And the dudes don't particularly, they're English from what I've spoken to Max many times on Facebook, and it's one thing to be able to speak another language and text, but in person I've heard that they're it's a little more challenging in person. So the fact that they came all the way out to Niagara Falls in balls deep English land and be able to make all that happen is pretty sick. How was all that?
Yeah, it's like I hadn't met those guys, as I said, and they're young guys. Like I don't know whether they'd be late 20s kind of thing. So young guys and like significant language barrier. Once you get drinking, that language barrier widens as well. Like just really enthusiastic, passionate, complimentary, like they're just seem like, really, really, really nice people and very passionate about what they do. I don't know any French, and yeah, with their somewhat broken English, the communication was a bit challenging. But yeah, their good nature definitely comes across.
That's awesome.
I love
I'm glad.
that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're definitely able to connect on that point. But just on to wrap up the Empire, like these are two very different beers that like the macadamia really shines in the red one. Like to the point where if you taste the black one and it's so like what makes the viscosity in one and not so much in the other? If I imagine it was the same batch of beer or not.
It's the same batch of Imperial Stout, same base beer.
Okay.
Like the oil content from both the nuts definitely like significantly impacts the mouthfeel. I find do you find the hazelnut to be more viscous?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
I find
that too. I don't find it to be significant necessarily, but I do find it to be more viscous. There's with the coffee in there too, which also is pretty oily. There's that added certainly oil content to it, but that'd be the only. And then macadamia nut versus hazelnut in terms of how oily those nuts are, but like that'd be the thing driving the viscosity difference would be the oil content of the adjuncts.
Gotcha.
More than
that
anything.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think that like if I was to just look at them objectively individually, I would not say that the black one is like super, super viscous, so to speak, but it is more viscous than the macadamia nut version of this for sure.
Yeah, and working with Du Bas on this one, like they do nut like adjuncted stouts with nuts better than just about anybody. So is
and like cool. Some of the most viscous stouts I think I've ever tasted.
For sure.
Just thick.
Yeah, and for us, like for whether like we got, as I said, different approach to barrel aged stuff versus non-barrel aged stuff, but on neither of which were as high on the sweet viscous scale as you can go. Like there is a bit of a different approach there in terms of how we do that versus some others. But yeah, for stouts in Canada, Brasserie du Bas-Canada, like they're top tier. So it's
in a class of their own, no question.
Yeah, and they've been doing it for a long time, and they've been pioneers in that respect as well.
I think that's a good word for it. Like they really did kind of pioneer the pastry stout movement in Canada, I would say.
For sure, yeah. The level of execution is unparalleled in this country for sure.
Yeah. Massive
guaranteed
fan of their barrel program. So this was a really cool one to collaborate on, and sort of as you were sort of reconnecting, Greg, we were just saying, Nate was saying, and I agree that like aside from this podcast, we would never have opened these two beers next to each other to be able to try them side by side, and it's very cool to be able to do so and to really see the difference in the same base beer and what those adjuncts do to each beer. It's fascinating because they're both so different, and I think that's part of the fun of this style, that you're able to do these sort of like big 11.9, or is it like 11.9?
No, these ones are pretty truly 12% ish.
Oh, you know what? You label all of your stouts exactly as they are, so yeah, you don't have to do that bullshit. Yeah, you'll say 15%. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we go so far past that 11.9. I think we've talked about this, but like it seems irresponsible to call it 11.9 when it's 18%.
Yeah.
Is you gotta generally, I think the general consumer is gonna take the ABV, like the brewery, at their word in terms of what they say it is. I think your more informed consumer sees 11.9 and they assume that it's somewhere north of that. But a lot of consumers are drinking that and basing their driving decisions and things like that off of the ABV. So we've always not only I think it's important just from setting the expectation for what to expect out of that beer to have the ABV be accurate.
Right.
Like I seek higher ABV beers because I know that I really like that alcohol heat and the balance that brings to these big beers. So I'm like genuinely more attracted to those higher ABV beers. There's a marketing aspect to that too. But then there's, whether you're going to post like the real ABV and then, go against some of the standards that exist from like an AGCO perspective, or you're going to put like a 11.9 on there and then have an ABV that's significantly higher actually in the can. Like in either case, you're being deceptive in one or like irresponsible in one manner or another. I'd prefer kind of take that liability on ourselves to give you the real alcohol. And then if we get, in trouble as a result of creating these bigger beers, then, at least the liability is kind of on us in that respect.
Understood. I think
it's more honest for sure.
Yeah. I think it's the move that you guys are doing it the right way, the honest way. And I understand why people don't, because the taxation is pretty obscene, but because you guys are so honest with, you double, triple, now the triple barrel, which we will talk about in a sec, at these obscene ABVs that are equivalent to some of the American beers, that it's just like you just letting it rip and being super honest. And I appreciate that. And I think the consumer does as well, when it's like, I understand why breweries have to maybe downplay the ABV, but at the same token, at this consumer, if you're making a decision as to what you're going to drink based on kind of what we were talking about earlier with the triples and the quads and our stout days and nights and all this type of stuff, like it is, you really do want that exact information so you can make it.
Oh my goodness. Like, look, there is a world of difference between 11.9% and like 17%. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, there's a big difference there. I like to know what I'm drinking.
For sure. And if lower alcohol or high alcohol is attractive to you, like you want all the information, especially if you're investing $40 in a bottle or whatever, you want all the information available to you, to be able to select something that is going to align with your preferences. Like there's a lot of states, Florida is one of them, but there's a lot where like they don't post any alcohol on the bottle at all. It will just say like there just won't be an ABV. And when it comes
That's
to
fucking wild,
when it comes to like barrel aged stout in particular, like if it's 11%, I'm probably not going to like it. If it's 15%, I'd certainly have a much better chance of liking it. So I think that's important.
Who knows what you're getting
as a consumer? Yeah. So you're
Christ.
You want the consumer to be able to make informed decisions. I think.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah. It's kind of weird to not be able to make informed decisions on something like that serious. And it's like, it's not a small amount of alcohol, and in maybe wine, it's not a big deal as far as the difference, but in beer, it's a very big difference.
Because like in wine, you're talking about a variance of like at most 2 to 3%.
Yeah, nothing's less than what, like 11 or 12 for the most part. Like
you're talking about a range of 12 to 15% tops.
Sure.
Generally.
Yeah. Maybe Moscato's probably a little bit less or something, but for the most part, maybe 11 at the kind of least. But then with beer, like a beer at 11% is no joke. And it's not super common. And so if you have
if you're talking about a range of anywhere between 11 to 18%, like that's a pretty broad fucking range.
For sure.
Yeah. And
like not just in terms of alcohol content, but like in terms of just generally expected sweetness, texture, all of these fucking things. Like it's a broad fucking range, and it has huge implications as to the experience.
Yeah, and I usually find like lower ABV imperial stout, like barrel aged stouts, like in like the 11-12% range. Not always, but generally I find them to be much sweeter and much clunkier, less refined than those higher ABV stouts, because it's usually the same amount of grain that goes into it. It's just how far that yeast attenuates the beer. So when I see an 11 or 12% ABV barrel aged stout, I'm always a little bit tentative to like whether I want to, invest in that experience, because I've been disappointed by lower ABV stuff a lot more than I've been disappointed by high ABV stuff. So again, when you're making a $40 decision, or even worse, like if you're trading for beer in the US and you're shipping it, and so like you might have easily $100 into that beer by the time you're drinking it. Like that's not a small amount of money. You want to make sure you're going to enjoy that experience.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like certainly at that price point, you want to have a decent level of certainty as to what you're going to get.
Big time. I just remember we did back in the day, Scott and I did, who was my original co-host back in the day, we did what's it called? Chambly. Bière as a serveur in the festival of Chambly. And we were interviewing the dude from Farnham, and he was like, oh, this beer that's sort of like 11.9. He's like, yeah, it's like 14.1. And that was the first time I'd come across it. I was like, oh, so y'all just fucking like lie on this shit? I'm like, oh, okay. All right. And this was like maybe 2017. And I was like, Jesus Christ, okay. And it was just sort of become a bit of a thing. So I feel like with your stuff, you know what? Third Moon are really good with it too. I feel like Badlands are always 11.9, but I feel like, but I don't know if it's 11.9 or 11.9. We should probably ask Troy. I know that Third Moon put the full on there, the full ABV on there. You definitely do. And there's probably reasons for everybody to do it or to not do it.
For sure.
Yeah, I find it interesting, and I'm sort of sympathetic because if a brewery is getting hit with the crazy tax bill for having a little bit more ABV, suboptimal. So I understand why people would, because the chances of a beer that is not in any sort of distribution being chosen to be audited or whatever it is from some AGCO or whatever is slim to none. So I can see why people would want to do that without, going too hard on it. But anyway, all that to say,
shall we get into some smoothies here?
Yeah, feeling like it.
Yeah, I got to head downstairs to grab some because I'm upstairs now. But yeah, give me a minute. I'll grab them both. Yeah,
which one should we start with? Okay. Greg will tell us in a sec what we're gonna do. We have two smoothies. I kind of feel like still that the yellow one's a little bit like lighter than the blueberry one.
I'd go yellow first.
Look at that. Gregory knows. See? Yellow first. So this is the zombie party right here. Yeah, look at that shit. Look at that creepy zombie hand.
It's looking green in your lighting.
It's looking a bit green? Yeah, it is kind of, isn't it? And this is also, by the way, this one's at Bas-Canada and Sir John. Fucking boom.
The fucking mates.
Mate, bloody legends. It's I love seeing how much Sir John are just out here just being wild dudes, man. Isn't it like hilarious?
They've been making a name for themselves in Ontario, man.
They really fucking have, man. It's
I'll love to see it.
I truly, genuinely love to see it, and I appreciate it, and I think they're just wonderful humans. Like we've said this before on the pod, they saved the day.
Oh my God, they saved our fucking bacon that time.
Yeah, for our event, like, and honestly, Nate, like of editing this vlog in the last few days, like looking back at everything, I was like, oh, I'm so glad we didn't do this again. It was so much. I'm like, we had a good time, and you and me, but you could just tell we're just like, fuck, this is so crazy.
I mean, I feel like you were more stressed about it than I was, but
because people kept coming to me with their problems on the night, whereas
no, they did for me too, man.
I'm just a higher strung dude, maybe.
For
both of these ones, by the way, I'd give like a good mix. They're thicker than some, so they want to settle.
I kept mine upside down the whole time as well, so I think that's in good shape.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
But yeah, like Craig, another thing is that you're generally more introverted than I am.
That is true.
And I feel like that came out on the day for sure.
Yeah. Looking back at it, I'm just like, oh man, I was just so fucking stressed. I was just like, oh, this is not for me. Yeah, and you don't realize how much. You do this podcast, you talk to people, you feel like you kind of. Not like I had any like misconceptions of my introvert / extrovertness, but I'm like, fuck, like it's a lot.
I felt bad for you because you really did look very stressed on the day.
Do you know what was interesting? On the vlog, I actually look pretty good. We're just talking about our anniversary, Greg,
good.
because all the photos that we had, I looked absolutely off my head, stressed. And I was hoping for some like nice photos that we could use for BOS. They had some nice ones. I was just fucking stressed because every time I walked onto the floor, I felt like someone grabbed me, was like, all right. And they gave me like 3 different problems to solve. And there was nothing to smile about. And looking back at the vlog when we did a couple little takes, I was like, oh, smiling enough. This will work. But
yeah, on those big days, you ideally have a team that'll insulate you a little bit from some of the issues because you've done all the legwork leading up to it, and day of, a lot of that stuff doesn't need to be you driving those solutions.
Yeah, and I think it was just more like, oh, a face that we know. Hey, dude, you are the guy we know. What's happening with this? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And like, not that like Nate or my brother or Tiff or anyone didn't get that as well. It was just I felt like I kind of.
Oh, we sure did.
A weight on it. I don't know why, and I think it was just because I wanted it to go so well that like you just become like. And I hadn't done events. We used to do events forever. I've done events since fucking I don't know, since early 2000s. Like we've been doing music and stuff forever. But then this, I just wanted it to go so well on what I didn't. I know that people had bad experiences at festivals waiting for a long time. I didn't want anybody to wait. I wanted everyone to have a really good time. I wanted to make sure all the beers were flowing. There was so much of anything anybody wanted, they were able to get it. And it was every time they'd be like, but they always came to me with like, oh, someone broke a glass. We need to find the guy with the sweeper thing. I'm like, so I had to walk around for 15 minutes finding the guy with the sweeper thing. I didn't know where he lived. I didn't know where he was at. I didn't work at Bell Brothers. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's not your venue. Yeah.
It's not my venue. So I couldn't be like, oh, no problem. I'll grab that. No worries, bro. It's fine. But I didn't know because it's not my venue. Otherwise I could, but I had to go find somebody to do it. And I didn't want anyone to hurt themselves or cut themselves because then there's a problem on somebody else and da. So yeah, it was all that. Why are we talking about that? Oh, because I think it's just while we were pouring, I was saying the vlog, Nate. The vlog looks much better than how I felt, and I was very happy to see it. I was like, oh, sick! That looks actually pretty sick, man. Like people are having a really good time, and like me and Nate were talking to the camera, and we look really good and like smiling and happy and shit. And even if that's not how I felt, that's what it looked like. So fuck yeah, zombie party, bitches. Now once again. Smooth Libre, which I guess is like a Cuba Libre take. Is that right, Gregory?
Yeah, so we kind of combined. This is Sir John and du Bas-Canada. So kind of like du Bas-Canada is their Libre. Smooth Operator is Sir John.
Oh, of course.
So we just kind of combine those two. We did the same with the other one, which was Tropics is Jackalhop's and Syrup is Nano Cinco or vice versa. One of the two.
One of the two. Once again, this one has mango, banana, tangerine, pineapple, marshmallow, and coconut. This is great, man. This is like bright and tropical. The banana is definitely really strong in this. Banana, right? I'm gonna try. Yeah, banana. Yeah. Yeah. Is this mango? Yeah. I don't know why I can't remember anything for more than a second.
Yeah, it did something like a little bit different here. Like usually when we're doing coconut, we'll almost always do coconut cream.
Okay.
Because when you're dealing with smoothie sours, it's really ideal to have liquid products that you're adding because then you can just kind of touch up and add it to the exact level that you want it. In this case, we took a bunch of the base sour and we conditioned it on just raw shredded coconut. So we made like a coconut base sour and then added fruit to that just in the interest that like we wanted to have, because we were in the other one, we were doing like a ice cream based sour. So we didn't want to have like a cream component in both of them.
Gotcha.
So yeah, just a different way to introduce coconut into a smoothie sour, which I think was really, it's a little bit less subtle than coconut cream is, but I think it accents the tropical nature of this beer really well and just kind of adds a different element to it.
Definitely.
And that definitely does bring the Bas-Canada vibe to the like to the forefront, because like coconut in their kind of like milkshake or smoothie like type beers is very much their vibe.
For sure.
Good point. Like Los Tabernacos and stuff like that with the
Exactly.
Fucking good point.
Yeah, that's usually what I'll like. They'll usually be the starting point. I'll look at a bunch of smoothie sours that they've each done on their own, and I'll identify like a few ingredients that seems as though they use a lot and should know well. Now that's how I usually start. Is like, hey, like seems like you guys use a lot of coconut, marshmallow, graham cracker, whatever it is. Do you want to try doing some of that? If so, like how do you generally impart that flavor into this? And yeah, that's usually whenever you're doing collaboration with someone, it's cool to be able to do something that they kind of specialize in, and then incorporate that into that beer.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, really cool and really thoughtful, and it kind of like really plays into sort of all of the elements of every collab we've had so far, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Oh yeah, one more. Even from like, the Peterine with the Ketch and trying to do, you saw Jackalhop did a Czech Amber, so you kind of like, yeah, let's do a little bit something like that. Like I think it's like really cool, man, and to be able to do 9 beers plus the 2 barrel aged stuff is it's crazy. It's absolutely bonkers and just dope that they were so thoughtful. The hot do people like for that level of thoughtfulness, and I know it's like, I imagine it's relatively common throughout your contemporaries and stuff like that. Is that appreciated? Do people be like, yo, man, that's sick, good idea? Or is it sort of like pretty standard that's kind of how it goes down?
It's a mixed bag. I'd say by and large, like our experience more often than not is more like both breweries are really engaged, and there's a lot of good back and forth, and both learn a lot from experience. That's certainly the norm. But it's not always the case. We've had some collaborations where, the brewery comes on board as it agrees to kind of do the beer, and then there's like very little by way of back and forth and contribution. And those ones always feel like a little bit hollow in terms of what you're hoping to get out of that experience. And not only for us producing the beer, but also like for the way that we're selling it to the customer, in terms of it being this collaboration where it feels a little bit disingenuous that like it wasn't necessarily, a lot of actual collaboration, but that's few and far between. Like by and large, because we're dealing with breweries and people that we know usually quite well going into it, it's not like we're getting to know them as because of the collaboration. We usually already have some relationship there. Usually it's a pretty thoughtful and pretty reciprocal experience.
That's sick.
Yeah, if you can do it in person, especially, you always get a huge amount out of it, because not only are you collaborating on that recipe, but especially if you're like doing an away collaboration, when you're in someone else's brewery, being able to watch their processes, like the pieces of equipment that they have, the specialized way that they go about doing things, you always take a huge amount from that. But also just seeing like how they interact with their front of house team and how they go about service. Like it's all, you get a lot from all those things. And I know when we were hosting in this last, like when we had all the Quebec brewers down at one time, I think like it happened to just be a really busy night for us at the brewery, like on the brewery side and on the pie side. So that was cool for us. It's nice when that happens, because the other breweries get to see us kind of at our peak and get to see our service team and our back house team kind of doing their thing. And like, they're all really impressed by, how our service was executed and so forth. So it's cool to be able to take all those things in when you're doing these things.
That's dope. I love that. And like, that is actually one thing that we didn't touch on, and I don't know if we need to do the next smoothie before we get into it to sort of bring it home, but the Counterpie side, which is your secondary location /restaurant, which is attached to the first location, which is actually pretty sick because the Ontario
rules. Well, if I may, just to cut in here, like if we're going to talk about that, why don't we crack the last one since we got it, and then let's talk about Counterpie before we bring this home.
Yeah, I like your thinking, Nathaniel. Now, second smoothie party. Fuck, I love smoothies. Anyone who says smoothies aren't beer is full of shit, mate. We know some people who feel that.
At least
there's always going to be someone, for fuck's sake.
I know, right? They can get fucked. Look at this zombie. Love it. Here for it. Now this one with Nano Cinco and Jackalhop. Is it Jackalhop or Jackalope?
I'm told it's Jackalope in terms of how you say it.
Interesting. Frenchies. Here for it.
I was saying Jackalhop as well. I'm told that's not it's also Jackalope.
Yeah, because I noticed you said that, and I was like, "Oh fuck, am I saying this shit wrong?" I just thought based on because there's other breweries called Jackalope, like ELOPE, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's the one with the rabbit with the Nikkei Snow, that group that had that shit." And this one is blueberry, banana, graham cracker, and vanilla soft serve at 5%.
Look at that color.
Oof! Look at that head just popping up there, mate.
Yeah, ice cream does funny things to the head for sure. It definitely
wouldn't it?
Yeah. Anytime you get a lot of fat, it does that.
You'd hope so. Yeah, let's fucking go. Is there lactose as well, or is there lactose just from the ice cream in this?
There's lactose from the ice cream.
From the ice cream, okay.
Yeah.
We've never done a smoothie where we've added lactose.
Gotcha.
We
kind of unnecessary, probably.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of breweries that do it, so I'm sure there's a reason why. But like generally speaking, you're adding lactose for body and sweetness, and you can usually achieve that with your fruit choices or your adjunct choices.
Was this one? I know we talked about it in the past. I'm not sure if it was on the pod or whatever, but you can get this ice cream kind of like in a milk jug thing from Costco. Is that with that one? Is for the vanilla ice cream, or is it a different sort of base?
We get ours it's in like a 20-liter bag that you would pour into a soft serve kind of dispenser and freeze it and serve it that way. So like we get it through our food supplier because the kitchen, we deal with a lot of food suppliers. The milk jug one, most of the brewers in Quebec use more of that form, and it comes in almost like a 2-liter like milk carton.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of that, but the one that we use, it's it comes in a big like 20-liter bag, or I think it's 10-liter bag.
Okay. I worked at McDonald's in my teenage years, and that was exactly what we had. So when you pour it into it was like this big like fucking bag. There was one for the milkshakes and one for the or the thick shakes, one for the ice cream.
Yeah, it's essentially
it was like
melted soft serve ice cream. Like that's what it tastes like.
Right. And this absolutely tastes. You can taste it immediately.
Yeah, it's a wicked product. Like when we first started using ice cream in stouts and smoothie sours, like we brought in all kinds of different options. Like we tried like the powdered and the liquid, and we probably tried 3, 4, 5 different ones. And this product is just it's great for like what we're trying to achieve with these. It's got like some, it's pretty like authentic kind of soft serve ice cream in terms of flavor and texture and such, but it's not too sweet. It's got that like milky creaminess to it. It's nice. It's
couldn't agree more. Well said. This is exceptional, and like obviously the other adjuncts here, like blueberry, banana, graham cracker, along with the vanilla soft serve. So it's kind of like a blueberry milkshake, really. Blueberry cheesecake milkshake.
For sure.
Because of the banana gives the body, the blueberry kind of gives that tangy thing going on, and the color obviously. Graham cracker delivers that like just that base that makes it feel like a cake or some shit. And then the vanilla kind of almost like plays into that kind of like the cheesecake. Or was there something you were trying to replicate with this and the last one at all, or was it all kind of just like a bunch of fun ingredients?
Yeah, not really. Like again, looking at the smoothie sours that these two, like Nano Cinco and Jackalhop had done, they'd both done stuff with ice cream quite a bit. They'd both, like I noticed graham cracker, they'd both worked with. So again, just taking familiar ingredients that we may or may not have experience with, but they definitely do. And then trying to integrate them all and try to combine, like it's not smoothie sours aren't a super technical beers necessarily, but there is, it really like adjunct and fruit choices is really like what define them and how you employ those. So there's a lot of opportunities to learn, by working with other breweries out, like even like if you're doing like, flavorants and extracts, there's such a big difference between good ones and bad ones and what your dose rates are and like all these things. And especially with smoothie sours, like their sole job is to be like super tasty at all costs. So like that's like there's not a lot of complexity necessarily. They're just like fun, really tasty things. So if there's new and innovative ways that other breweries are kind of injecting these flavors into the beers, then it's neat to learn that and try that out for ourselves.
Hear about it. Yeah, no, I totally get it, man. It's a really cool approach, and I didn't realize that that's what you did. Where you was like, all right, Nano and Jackalhop, what do you guys do? Let's mesh that all together with our approach. So it's kind of really is a three-way approach. Like you're actually taking the collaboration very seriously as far as the adjuncts and the method and the process of making the beer.
Yeah, like I usually like to work from what have these guys done well, and how can we not only learn from it but also like expose our customers to what these guys are doing, because that's kind of the whole purpose. But sometimes too we've done the opposite, where like I remember we did one with Third Moon like in our early days, where we did a berry smoothie sour with marshmallow. And neither one of us at the time had done marshmallow in a smoothie sour. So like, It's cool to be able to tackle that challenge together. And like, ultimately we had like what we decided to do. I went to the grocery store and like cleaned them out of like marshmallow fluff. I had like 30 of these little containers. And then so we had Chris and Bebo down and we were trying to figure out like, okay, like this fluff is super thick. It's super sweet. Like how do we ultimately get it into the beer? We decided to like pull some sour base, put it into a giant pot, boiled it, and then we're like incorporating the fluff into the, this boiling hot beer. It was like super messy and probably very imperfect, but it was fun to like do that with them and learn how like, go through that experience and see how that worked out in the final product. So sometimes like just having someone else who's, creative and good at problem solving, like to be able to do that together, it just betters your chances of working with a new product and doing it effectively. So that's fun too, if you could deal with something that's neutral in the sense that it's new for both of you and you can take that on together.
Did it work doing the fluff in the boiling hot liquid, or did you guys figure out a better way?
Yeah, no, it's just a gigantic pain in the ass. It definitely worked, but I don't think it was like good enough to justify the effort and pain and the assery that was involved with that.
The assery. So that if either of you, you might not be able to speak to Third Moon's processes, were to use marshmallow fluff in a beer smoothie, which you both have since what you're talking about, what would you do? Would you do it that same way, or do you just like chuck that bitch in the fermenter or something, or just like fuck it?
When we do marshmallow, like we'll usually use flavorant or extract.
Okay.
Because I think we talked about this in our last chat, but like when you're dealing with an adjunct or like an ingredient that is entirely synthetic based to begin with, like a marshmallow, there's nothing natural about it. It's all synthetic flavoring. And then you're adding things to get the texture of marshmallow. So what we're trying to get in the beer is the flavor, which is a synthetic thing to begin with. So you just take that synthetic and add that into the beer. And then if we want like a marshmallowy texture, like a fuller, sweeter thing, like you can achieve that with other things. So yeah, generally, like if it's genuinely, you're going to have a better result dealing with the whole like raw unprocessed adjunct, then you do that. But if it's just be a marketing thing where like it's cool to see you pouring a bunch of stuff into the beer, then I'm less inclined to put the effort into that if it's not genuinely going to create a better product. And we've done enough things with marshmallow now where like some of these extracts and flavorants they're dynamite in terms of delivering marshmallow character.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I like that. The last two things to bring this home, Counterpie. The last time we talked, it wasn't open, and you had so essentially it's a pizza restaurant that's attached to the brewery. That opened, I believe, the soft open was it 2024? It was 2024, right? It
was November 24, so a year and a half.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. And
like just after our last pod, because like it was right at the Halloween.
After Halloween,
release.
right? Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's right.
So I remember coming through to the soft open, and that weekend it was super cool. It's like a different vibe. It's more of like a sports bar type of vibe, which is very similar to like the American style breweries, which many of them tend to be sports bars for whatever reason. Maybe just like, do you want to just tell us a little bit about how that's going? What the difference is between Counterpie and Counterpart, because they do, it's a very distinct experience. Even if it's in the same building, it feels like this, like, you can see the counter, you can see people making the pizza, and you can see it coming up, and like it feels just like it's a little bit more casual. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. It is. It's in the adjacent unit to the brewery, and it is like physically connected to the brewery, at least from a staff perspective. Like you can go from the brewery to the pizzeria without going outside. But from a customer experience, two entirely different things. So two different entrances to get in, and we've got two separate kitchens. When we were designing like the layout, kind of decision making behind like the vibe, we were trying to create two very different experiences. So on the Counterpart side, if you've been there, like it's certainly the food's a big part of that, but it's definitely a brewery kind of first in that, like you see the production side is very available to kind of see and view when you're there. It's got there's no TVs there. It's kind of laid back music for the most part, different style of service. On the Counterpie side, we have TVs. It's we do largely like hip hop over there in terms of music. We do cocktails, obviously very different menu, different aesthetic. So we try to like create very different things. The one common element is quality and attention to detail in terms of how we do things, but also the beer. So we have Counterpart beer on both sides. But yeah, no, it's been great. Like the response has been really, really positive kind of from the get-go. It's been like for my business partner, Joe, he's the chef on both sides. It's been a lifelong kind of goal of his to open a pizzeria. So it's been cool for Counterpart to ultimately kind of facilitate that and have that come to be. And yeah, if you're like, the cool thing about pizza is like it has its own kind of subculture, similar to the way that craft beer does. Like you have this group of people that are really, really passionate about pizza and willing to travel for it. And it's kind of unique in that sense. We've also like tied it in from the standpoint of like it is like New York style pizza, but it's like kind of artisan elevated kind of version of that. But it is all like, it's a sourdough base, and we use that same sourdough culture on the Counterpart side for our house sourdough, like our loaves that we do over there. So yeah, I think it's been a fun experience. It's been a learning experience for us too. They're not entirely different businesses in the sense, like, it's not like it's a separate location or we incorporated it as a new business, but we try to treat them as two separate businesses in terms of, how we like deal with them from a books perspective and a staffing perspective. And so it's been a lot of fun. It's been added kind of value from a number of standpoints.
Love that, man. And it really is a different thing. Like, even when we did that, the bottle share, we got funnily enough, because I was like, I'm about to get fucked up. It's either going to be $100 Uber either way, or we could just get a little hotel. So we got a hotel not too far around in Niagara on the Lake. And when we pulled up, we took an Uber there, and Tiff came with me, and she was like, I want a pizza from Counterpie. So dropped me off at Counterpart to go meet you boys. And then she specifically had a pizza that we pre-ordered and was waiting for her because she wanted a Counterpie pizza, and they're that good.
It's awesome.
Yeah, man. It's genuinely fantastic, and you can really tell that you guys take the pizza side seriously. As I really love pizza, but I'm not like with that I am with beer or coffee or anything like that. But you can tell that I'd be like, oh, I can see people losing their fucking minds over this, and really like chasing it and stuff. It really, you can tell you guys take it seriously to a level that you take the other food seriously, and it feels very brand aligned. It feels like it's like, oh, of course they would do this. It's a very intense pizza place. It's sick, but it's also a vibe. When I say intense, meaning that the food is so good, and the physical experience is like, it's different to if you walked 20 meters around the corner to go into Counterpart. So it's I think it's really cool that you guys are able to do that under the same license and sort of treat it like that. And it's super dope. So I just wanted to shout that out. It's really fun. And I know there's different challenges. We were talking to Joe the other night. It's like, all right, well, how do you grow that in a different way than you grow the brewery? Because the brewery side is definitely based on the beer. Obviously, people come for the food, but the beer is a big part of it. So how do you grow pizza? How do you let people know that they can do takeaway pizza? Because that's obviously a big thing, is to go and get takeout and on that side and all these different things. It's like, yeah, shit, that's a really good point, man. Like, how do you grow it? So it's a different challenge for you guys, I imagine. And it's got to be kind of fun and different to what you've been doing over the last 7 years with the brewery side.
Yeah, it's been challenging, which is good. Like, it's always you're learning as a result of that. But it's been very positive too. So I think it's a nice kind of mix of we're definitely growing as business owners and opening kind of new options for our customers, but it's that balance of fun and challenge that's what it's all about. Like, as an entrepreneur, you're really trying to maximize both of those things. And I think Counterpie has contributed nicely, from that standpoint.
That's sick, man. I think it's really cool. I'm really excited for you guys for that part of the business to keep growing. And then on the flip side of that, obviously the pizza's the newest stuff, the last year and a half. Yeah, about a year and a half. One thing that happens every year is the Untapped Community Awards, which is awards that they basically give out for fucking Frozen. God damn it. It's okay. It's been a night of technical difficulties, guys. Don't worry.
I was just hoping it wasn't mine again.
No, you're good. You're good.
I set the stage for technical difficulties. You guys, so basically on the Untapped Awards, they started to do it. I don't know what time of year they did it, because it wasn't like in a calendar year. It was like, is it after March 1st or something? Or
they generally they do them like right around our anniversary. I think the reason being is because in order to qualify for the awards, you need to have a certain amount of, I think it's 50 check-ins minimum or something like that, 50 ratings minimum
per beer or per brewery,
for a beer to be the beers specifically
for a beer to
receive the awards. Yeah, so I think the reason why they do that is because if you release a beer at the end of December, they need a certain amount of buffer room for that beer to receive ratings. So I think that's why they allow 3 months for like a December 31st beer to have the opportunity to qualify. I assume that's why they do that. But yeah, they've always this is the third year they've done them. Yes. And it's always like during our anniversary week. So it's the last couple years in particular, like we've had some really, some exciting kind of news come from that, but it does get lost in the shuffle for us. And then a week or two later, we'll usually, try to highlight that because it's the cool thing about Untapped Awards is they're not like unlike traditional awards that you'll have to pay to submit your beers. And for one thing, especially in Canada, there's such a few number of breweries that actually submit their beers for awards. So like if you do win something, it's not necessarily representative of the entirety of the industry.
Whereas this kind of is because you enter it whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and also it's encompassing all aspects of your brewery because they like with formal judging, they really go through efforts to try to make it super objective. Like, so you're doing blind tastings, you don't know what brewery it's coming from. But in reality, especially for someone like me,
everybody knows,
like all the things matter. Like it's like if you think more highly of our brand because of the branding, because of the customer experience, because of like all those things matter. And I feel like with Untapped Awards, like all those things kind of are factored in a little bit more. Like it is about the beer, of course, but you can influence how people feel about your beer with all these other factors. Yeah. So
you certainly know that for any check-ins that are happening from a beer on site, that there's a lot going into what that rating is.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. Like if you can tailor that customer experience around, and contribute to that positively in all the other ways. Like you can give them the perfect dish with it, with great customer service and good music, and they're drinking out of a can. It's got cool artwork. Like all these things we put a lot of effort into, and they ultimately affect how people feel about our brand and how they experience our beer. So yeah, I feel like Untapped, like kind of cut, like ultimately it's how do people feel about our beer and our brand, and it's, and everybody. So and largely speaking, like there's no, it's from like hundreds of thousands of ratings or million. Well, like for us, for like our brewery, like we've had, I don't know, 100,000 ratings, right? It's a big pool. And certainly millions or billions across all of Untapped. So, I find to be, I think all the breweries like treat it as a pretty big deal if you win awards in that. And this past year,
you have 107,000 ratings. So great call. You nailed it.
Okay.
An average of 4.05, which is insane for 107,000. That's crazy. For the amount of styles that you guys do, because you do a lot of lagers and you do some other things that aren't traditionally rated as high. So to get an average of 4.05 for that, I think is phenomenal.
Cool. Yeah, and you have to factor that in for sure. Like if you're a brewery that produces entirely barrel aged beers, or you're entirely hazy IPAs, like you're gonna have a much higher rating as a result. So
there's a skew there for sure.
Yeah. So that's something that we pride ourselves on being able to do all styles. And some of the styles, like even if you do them to the highest degree that you can, they're going to be lower rated. It's just the way
3.5 best Pilsner I've ever had.
Yeah, it's just the way that one goes.
That's the way it works.
But this past year we had the top 5 rated beers in Canada for last year for like 2025.
God damn.
They're all like from our barrel program, combination of barley wines and imperial stouts. But
naturally,
like we were stoked about that. Like that's where it's. Oh
yeah, like I say naturally, not sarcastically, because because your barrel program, in my opinion, is unmatched in the country.
Facts.
And I'm not saying this to gas you up. Like I really, really mean that. It's that fucking good that it should receive that level of recognition.
Yeah.
Thank you. But at the same time, there's some really, really great breweries in this country producing some like unbelievable beers across all categories.
100%.
So for it to have landed that way, that's something we definitely take a lot of pride in. It's the second year. Like last year, we had the top 4 and I think like the 9th or something. So we had like 5 in the top 9, which that seemed like something was unlikely to repeat. So to have a slight kind of improvement in that regard this year, it's always like it's always a small moment where you see these things and we sit down with our brew team and talk about it and say like, how proud we should all feel about this. And then, you move on and, try to do it again next year. But like, it's important to take a minute and, give yourself a pat on the back and congratulate the team and, feel good about yourselves.
Absolutely.
Just to repeat that, it was the top of the highest rated beers in Canada. You said you were the top 4 or top 5?
We had the top 5 rated beers in Canada this year.
Fuck, that's incredible. And
so I think it was
doing what they
bravo.
Want.
Yeah, like Double Barrel Vanquish was the top rated beer this year.
Jesus.
And I think it was 2 of our double barrel coniferous, 1 of the single barrel coniferous, and then 1 of the double barrel circles were the top. Jesus. The top 5.
Oh man,
the double barrel circles were fucking extraordinary.
Oh, you had them all already, Nate?
I have, yes.
Okay, that's my next.
They're fucking extraordinary.
I'm moist for them. I can't.
The blue one the blue in particular was peak for me.
Yeah.
That was the Elijah Craig. That was I think that was the 5th rated beer this year. That was sweet.
Christ. I just love it. That makes me like it's. I know that like barrel aged beers definitely get like heavily weighted, but goddamn, they deserve it, eh? And it's really cool to see like a style that maybe barrel aged stouts and barley wines are still pretty popular. It's it's maybe if you look at the barrel aged farmhouse, it probably isn't as popular. It's affecting a lot of breweries who do that as far as their fucking business model and shit, which sucks because that stuff is incredible and it's really hard to do really well. But
and
it's
they're
so
really
cool.
and the ones who do it well are so passionate about it, and you really want them to succeed.
Exactly, and it's just sort of one of those things. It just changes with time. But to see Canadian, to see you guys do like top 5 and it's all barrel aged stuff. I don't know, man. That's exciting, and it's kind of like exciting, but also what's the word? Encouraging to be like, all right, like. Enough people fuck with this to give it the high enough rating because it's that good. And when once you get to that sort of higher level, like it's kind of like you're looking at a fraction of a point, for the differences, but it matters, and it's very cool to know that once again the brewery that's making the top 5 most popular beers in Canada is in our backyard. It's amazing, man. And you guys should be incredibly proud to do that and to continue to do that when you don't have to do that. And it's not the most lucrative, they're not cheap beers, but also they're not cheap to make. So I don't really think you're sitting here fucking like caking money off them. You're just kind of recouping, what you're doing and making a little cream on top type of thing. And it's, to deliver some of the most highly sought after beers in the province and the country is very cool, man. And you guys should be extremely proud, and we're proud of you guys. I think it's, it's really cool for us to be able to brag like, fucking come here, bro. We got the shit. Everything's the best is coming out of here. So thank you guys for just continuing to focus on the barrel program when you don't have to do that. You could not. You could just keep making hazy IPAs and make a pretty good living without having to do the other stuff. But you choose to do the barrel stuff yourself and John and the team, and it's man. It's very cool. We appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, and especially with that style. Like I've talked about this a bunch, but like the only reason we do that we do barely stuff is to create the very best thing possible. That's really important to us, not only like to us personally, but like how that ties into our brand and what we're all about. So when you're putting all this effort into something like that, when the customer feels that and responds to it how you want them to, it's certainly a rewarding thing. So I appreciate that.
No, man,
love to hear that.
And all of that to say, I know it's kind of late. We got through 9 beers. We did it, and all of us have to get up at 5:30 for a cold plunge. So, me particularly. So, with all of that to say, dudes, this was a gem. Greg, thank you so much for hanging out and for sharing the beers with us tonight, man. This was sick, and it's really cool to do something ridiculous like in 3 3/4 hours go through 9 of your beers from from the release, and it's just exceptional. It's such a privilege to be able to drink all of these at once and compare, particularly things like the Empire side by side that that Nate was saying earlier. We typically wouldn't do. It's this is so fun. It's so cool.
What an experience this always is. Thank you so much, man, for all that you've done and all that you continue to do. We appreciate you so much, and just thank you for coming on to just to hang with us again. It's a real pleasure for us.
Yeah, likewise. I've said this to you guys before, but yeah, you guys are the best. What you guys do for the industry, the amount of passion you guys have, it's unbelievable. It's my pleasure to take part in this stuff. So yeah, you guys keep at it. I love following along. You guys are great.
You're a legend, brother.
Love you, man.
Always a goat. Love you, brother. You're a fucking absolute champion. This is glorious. So to bring it all home once again, 5 hours we're going to be in a cold plunge. It's just I couldn't even imagine if you weren't going to do that. Like, you'd be crazy to not be in a cold pool of water. Greg, where can we find Counterpart online and in real life?
Well, Instagram is where we do the bulk of our connecting with customers online for sure. So if you are reaching out as a customer, please do so via Instagram versus Facebook. It's gonna be a much longer wait time if you do so via Facebook. Just because I'm checking.
And it's at Counterpart Brewing, right?
Yes. And then if you want to order beer online, it's through our website, counterpartbrewing.com. But yeah, if you can make it into the brewery or into the pizzeria, that's where we want you. So if you can ultimately do that, I'd love to have you.
And can you also ship now to Nova Scotia? Because this is the first time I brought it up on the pod. Doug Ford and the Premier of Nova Scotia have signed some sort of an agreement. So you can obviously ship anywhere in Ontario, but is it something you have to like activate or do some shit to be able to send to Nova Scotia? Or if there are any folks over there, they can just put an order through and it's all blessed? Like, what's the vibes?
I'm not up to date with that, honestly. I thought it was Manitoba that we can ship to. But
it's definitely Nova Scotia, but I'm sure you can ship to Manitoba if you felt like it.
I feel like Manitoba had been allowed previously. Maybe Nova Scotia was just added, but we only shipped
literally
Ontario.
like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that I think that's the case. Like, Badlands and all my friends both recently announced that that they can now ship to Nova Scotia. I think you might be right that Manitoba may have been previously allowed as well.
Like, I think all my friends is delivering to Manitoba. Like, I remember talking to them about that.
Yeah.
At FlowFest.
Oh no shit! So that could be a thing. I don't know.
I think you might be right.
Yeah,
I know in May, like from what I understand, the goal is to break down kind of the barriers between all provinces. Everywhere. I think that was the target.
Was May. Okay.
So I haven't honestly looked into it that much because I prefer to tackle that all at once, kind of if and when that comes to be in May.
That would be so much better. Yeah.
But Nova Scotia and Ontario is definitely a thing. Like,
as
all
of
my friends
March
in
the
Badlands.
2nd.
yes, like all my friends in Badlands have made big announcements that they can ship to Nova Scotia now. So
yeah, I see it on the Ontario.ca website from March 2nd. So the Office of a Premier say that they definitely specifically did that. But you are correct, Greg, in that I recall a federal promise for spring 2026 was the time, and now it's spring 2026, for a cross-border, all country, every province with every province. So I don't know why that was made a big deal of with Nova Scotia and Ontario, maybe because a little ahead of the game, and then everything else was going to come. But I still think, just like with the States, I got an address in upstate New York, but if any, I can order from Burial in North Carolina. They can ship to me, but they can't charge me North Carolina tax. They have to charge me New York State tax because that's where the address is. So they have to make an agreement with that, and I believe it's the same. Every province have to make a deal with every province. So hopefully there's some sort of easy way around it. But we hadn't talked about it on here before.
We're getting there.
So, Greg, where can everybody find Counterpart online and in real life? Did I say that already? I didn't say that already.
Yeah, you kind of did.
That's the 9 beers.
I'm sorry. I'm so tired. I've got to get up at 5 o'clock for a fucking cold plunge.
Counterpart Brewing on Instagram.
Fuck. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching and listening.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite part of the whole thing.
I'm sorry. I'm jet lagged still. It's been 2 weeks. I'm fucked. I'm old, dude. Guys, if you enjoyed the episode, smash the thumbs up. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the new drops. Nathaniel.
Ding.
So you follow us everywhere at BOS Podcast, at Nathan Does Beer. Check out the long form audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars, not for me, not for Nathaniel. Give it for Uncle Greg for fucking Counterpart Brewing having the top 5 highest rated beers in Canada. God damn it. And we'll see y'all in the next one, and we'll see you in the morning for Cold Punch. Peace out.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.